welcome to the Unfazed Review Podcast. I'm Ben.
I'm Emmett.
And today we're going to talk to you because we missed you.
It's been a long time.
So many things happening in the Unfazed world.
Yeah, the Christmas special was our last podcast.
Yeah.
We've done a few videos since then.
In a minute, yeah. Actually, quite a bit. So by the time this comes out, hopefully you guys all have seen and enjoyed the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul filming locations video. Big one I'm super proud of. Knocked it out over the course of 3 days in Albuquerque. Got a few other videos from ABQ, New Mexico, coming out very soon, but that was the big one. That was the one that I think kind of the trip was centered around. You know?
Yeah. He gave me a rock of gravel from Mike Ermintrout's front yard.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
It was very exciting.
I was close to Ermintrout.
You are. You're going to put it in a little baggie with a little sticky note. Mike Ermintrout, January 2023. But it was cool. It was. I was telling Emmett, there's a lot of vibe, or there's like a vibe there that's similar to Tucson. So it's got this kind of laid back feel, kind of like a small town, even though it is a big city. Like it doesn't feel nearly as big as Phoenix. It feels throttled back like 15, 20 years, compared to Phoenix.
That's
like,
really nice. Yeah.
And it's super, super cliche. I know a lot of guys like World According to Briggs and Nick Johnson and like travel YouTube channels always say this. But they say, everyone there was so nice. And I'm always like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Everyone there legitimately was so nice. I hate saying that because it's such a cliche, but like, the only thing I can figure is people here in Phoenix are just like a bunch of assholes.
People do say that. People do say that people in Phoenix and Scottsdale are really standoffish. And
Yeah, so that was one thing I really noticed. I almost felt like, they like knew me or were like old friends or something. Where like everyone was very, very helpful, very friendly. Everyone was very open to the filming. When I went to the Breaking Bad museum, the lady, I was kind of like talking to her for a little bit, and she saw how excited I was to be there. She's like, "Oh, I got this cool art print of this Gus Fring picture." She's like, "Do you want it?" I'm like, "Sure." I'm like, "How much?" And she's like, "No, just take it."
Oh my god!
And I was like, "Oh, so I got this sick." I think I included it in the end of the Breaking Bad video. But there's like a picture of it, and it's a really cool picture of Gus Fring that I was super happy to have.
That's so cool.
Totally gonna frame it. It's so badass.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Very cool, very cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And it gave me a whole new respect on those filming location videos because we've never really done one like that, I don't think.
Yeah, I know.
We did Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
But we did like a location, you know?
Yeah.
But that was like a whole involved experience. I mean, I did like, 3 to 4 locations each day. And, like, it took my whole freaking day. Also, I was Ubering, too, because I flew out there, so I wasn't driving myself to the locations. But still, it took, like, a good chunk of the day. So, much respect to those guys that, like, dedicate, like, weeks to, like, these mega, detailed filming location videos.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of driving back and forth, I can imagine.
Yeah. And then, like, lining up the shots and stuff. Like, I didn't get that deep into it, but I still think I did a pretty good job for a first run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty exciting stuff. And then we got more coming down the pipeline. I did about 4 videos altogether for the Albuquerque trip, so keep an eye on the channel for some stuff you might not expect.
Very exciting.
It's so fucking cool.
Very exciting.
It's so fucking cool.
I love it.
Yes. And then today, so nothing has happened yet. I don't really want to jinx it, but I still want to tell you guys. Emmett always says we have a bad habit of keeping things secret from you guys, and it's like, I'm just going to tell you. So I went to Metro Center Mall today. We've done a couple videos on it. If you don't remember, go back and watch them on the channel. But I went to the last remaining Dillard's in the store, which is going to close soon. And they're going to demolish the mall this summer. And I was talking to one of the maintenance guys. He gave me his business card. He said, hey, there's new ownership. New company from Los Angeles owns the mall. Contact them before they tear it down. Maybe they'll let you do a vlog inside.
Whoa.
So fingers crossed. I haven't heard back yet, but like I said, I only talked to the guy today. But there's a chance you might see another Dead Mall video on the horizon.
One more Metro vlog.
One more Metro vlog. It's so funny because like Metro, I have this attachment to it and this endearment to it because it's the first mall I remember going to as a kid. But what's so funny is I've been to Arrowhead and Fashion Square a million times more often. I've only been inside Metro like 20 times or something like that.
Those early memories are special, though.
Yeah, but there's something about it, I think, just because it's like, so close to where I grew up, and just hearing stories when my parents went there, my uncles went there, and, my dad and mom speak so highly of how it was like this thriving place back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
I've just always built it up in my mind as this amazing place. And also just like, my very first memory of going to a mall as a kid around Christmas time was Metro.
Yeah.
And like, that's like, literally, when you say the first mall memory, it's like, I can remember going there when I was like 5, so that would have been like 1998 Metro Center. It's
Wow,
like,
so
oh my
cool.
God. So it's
Yeah.
like, I remember KB Toys and
Yeah.
this big fountain that they had and everything. And so it's really depressing. It's almost like going to a cemetery now or going to visit someone who's like on life support. It's like, dude, this place isn't going to be here much longer. Another crazy one too that we documented on the channel was Fajitas, where I used to work, fully gutted now. Like it's just the outside of the building, but
So sad.
everything inside is gone. Windows are taken out, doors are taken out. It's just empty inside.
Oh man.
And that hit home, dude. That one hit home.
Damn. That's sad. That's sad.
So there's not much left for Metro.
And if we're able to do it, we'll be the third one because we did that one way back when, and then we did that like Dillard's clearance. It was connected to Metro,
Yeah.
so it'll technically be right there.
It'll be the third one, and then I also did one that people seem to really leave a lot of positive, nostalgic comments on, where it was like the old footage of the mall. So we have 3 currently, potentially a 4th one in the works.
That's cool.
So
Shoot.
something about the malls, man.
Yeah.
One thing I really appreciate on the channel too, is it seems like people dig the videos. Like people love, they have a hard on for malls.
Yeah. We all do because it represents such a specific time and such a height and happiness of that time. That
Totally.
It's hard to pull away from that.
It's
What was the one that you did recently? The guy. Oh yeah, of course. The last like big mall.
Oh,
one
we
you
didn't
did.
even talk about it.
Yeah, we should talk about
Fuck
it. That was
yeah.
incredible. Please explain.
Okay. Emmett's not going to have a chance to speak on this
Okay.
episode, guys. Sorry.
I'm listening.
So, Fiesta Mall. I'm hoping all of you guys watched it. If you haven't, or if you're new here, after this, go check out the Fiesta Mall video because honestly, like one of the coolest videos I think I've done in a long time. Possibly one of the coolest videos ever on the channel so far. So basically, what happened? I'll kind of give you the whole story on it. Fiesta Mall is in Mesa, Arizona. It's been dead for years. I think it closed in 2017, 2018, something like that. I never went to it when it was functional. I've always known it just as this big, ominous, dead mall. And for whatever reason, it was just on an off day, I was like, I want to go try to vlog it again. Because I remember the last time I went, there was a door open there. And as I would peek in, but I got nervous and I left because I didn't want to get in trouble for trespassing.
Yeah.
But I thought, maybe there's a chance I could get in there. And I just had this really strong feeling like, go vlog it. I just had this, every once in a while you get that. When you make videos, when you do things, it's like you get this kind of like filmmaker, vlogger intuition where like, I got to go check it out. So I went, and Mesa's far, like for perspective from where I live.
Yeah,
it's
across
like
town.
from where I live, like it's a solid hour to get there.
Yeah.
So I drove out there, started bopping around. I ate In-N-Out Burger there because why not? And then I started walking around, and I noticed there was some damage to one of the old restaurants that used to be that was connected to the mall, and all the glass was broken out. So I thought, okay, I'm not gonna break in, but I'm gonna go, just kind of see what's going on over there. So I went up, started recording. Immediately, a security guy rolls up. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just recording video." And he was like, not having it. He's like, "Hey, so many people say that." He's like, "And they show weak points so more people can come in and vandalize." And I'm like, "No, dude, you got the wrong idea." I'm like, "I'm a lover of malls. Like, I'm just here to document the history before it gets torn down." Anyway, we start talking for a little bit. He's this nice older guy, probably in, I don't know, I'd say like in his mid to late 60s. And he sees that like I'm not a shithead. Like he's used to like these shithead like, punk teenagers going in, people doing graffiti, people stealing. But he said also there's a lot of violence in there. He said there's been a few times he's gone there, people fire guns at him. He said there's been rapes reported in there. There's been gang activity in there. He said, so it's like,
it's terrifying.
It's the real deal. He said most times he goes in there, he brings a gun, and very rarely does he ever go in there alone anymore.
Jesus.
So it was pretty serious. Like pretty serious stuff happens there. And I didn't know this until I talked to him, like how intense it really is and how like apocalyptic it is. So finally we start talking, and I'm about to leave, go our separate ways, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna go in there and board some stuff up." He's like, I'm gonna have to really watch my back. He's like, "I'm worried about those shitheads, shooting at me or jumping out at me and doing something." And I said, "Well, kind of I'm sure the answer is no." I said, "But do you think I could come with you, maybe for like 5-10 minutes and just get a few, videos?" And he's like, "Well, I'll tell you what." He's like, "You can come in and take all the video you want." He's like, "If you'll be my backup." And it was like something from a video game. It was, I kid you not, it was like something from a video game.
It's true, guys.
I swear to God, I swear on my life, like, he was like, "If you want to be my backup," he's like, "you can go in and record all you want." And I'm like, okay. Literally, I swear to God, like something from The Last of Us, he's like, "All right, meet me at entrance 3. And he goes around, he's like, "I gotta do some other stuff." So I walk this way up to like entrance 3, and he goes around the other side of the building, and I'm like waiting for him there, like at the checkpoint. He rolls up, gives me a baton, and he's like, here's how you use it. He like gives me the tutorial, you know. And he's like, all right, watch your back. He's like, these fuckers like to hide. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like scared going in. Like, I got goosebumps. I'm getting nervous. I'm all amped up on adrenaline. God. And anyway, so I did, you know, for the sake of the law, I did get permission to go in, like I showed in the video. So he unlocked it. We went in. And the first part of the video, you'll see kind of the vibe is a little eerie because I really was on edge. Because he was like, be quiet. He's like, we don't want them to hear us coming in. He's like, try not to crunch the glass at first. He said, you know, when they see us, you know, usually they'll scatter and they'll run away. He said, but be careful initially going in. So that's why it's like kind of quiet. You know, we're kind of on our toes. He's whispering a lot. It's not until about maybe like 10 minutes in we kind of loosen up and let our guard down a tiny bit. But dude, it was like being in a zombie video game. It was like
playing a mission from a video game.
It was like being in a jump scare game, and I was so excited and so nervous and sorry, belching. And dude, I was just so excited to be in there and just have the opportunity to vlog it for you guys and for for posterity because. According to that guy, he said about 3 or 4 months it'll be torn down.
Shoot.
So that's according to him.
Thankfully, all that horrific shit won't happen in there.
Exactly.
We'll find some other place.
Exactly. But and what's crazy is it's so sketchy there. When I was leaving, there were some scumbags looking in the windows of my car, and I walked up and I like reached behind my back like I was reaching for something. And they got back in their car and drove away. And then I pulled up my phone and I recorded them as they were driving away. But I was like, what the fuck? And I talked to him. He said, oh, it happens all the time. So people get their cars broken into constantly.
Right.
So a real shitty area over there in that particular part of Mesa, which is surprising because there's like a lot of nice restaurants and stuff and like that.
Yeah, Mesas are like really, when it's nice, it's really nice.
Yeah, that arcade bar we went to, Endgame.
Oh yeah.
It's like right across the street from.
Oh my god.
From Fiesta.
I didn't even know.
Which is crazy. But dude, honestly, I was so amped up. Emma remembers how excited I was because I met up with Emmett afterwards.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like adrenaline. It was like going into like a virtual reality game. Like. There were parts where like there was real danger. He's like, hey man, he's like, I've been shot at in here. He's like, there's like scumbags that like are like gunning for me in this location. He's like, so be really careful. And I'm like, okay, like let's do it, let's go in. And I just, even though I was careful, for some reason everything felt like it was gonna be okay, and it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when there was all the broken glass and the stuff on the floor, he said, to get over debris, press A to jump.
Yes, he was my Sully.
He wasn't Sully. Yeah.
Yes, and I had to put my gloves on and go down the elevator shaft. Yeah, and basically it was Uncharted 6.
It was Uncharted 6. I love the mannequins that were strung up and like hanging. Holy shit!
And then the outlines of people.
Yeah, what the fuck? Jesus Christ.
It was so crazy. But like I said, if you can. If you guys can do stuff like that, do it. And I don't mean break the law. I don't mean trespass because those fuckers will come get you. Yeah. But if you can be like a little close to danger and also like capture something amazing
do it
like
legally.
that and do it legally, it's the best feeling.
Yeah.
I was so amped up, and like I said, the closest thing I've experienced so far to being like in a fucking jump scare game.
Yeah.
God,
so cool.
It was so cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Give it some love. I would love to see that one just continue to gain views because it was such an epic experience.
My question is, did you notice any change in air quality? Because there's so much like shit in the air you can see in so many parts.
Strangely enough, no.
Wow.
I mean, it just kind of smelled kind of musty.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was going to be so...
It didn't smell dusty and musty in the in the main area of the mall, like because it's so open.
Large, yeah.
But when you went in like that back area where there was like all that shit all over, like those back offices with the holes in the walls, that smelled funky. That smelled kind of like like old dust and like an old like I don't know back part of like a storage unit or something or an old garage, where it's like so kind of dusty. And then there were some areas where there was moisture in the back area by like the food court. And that kind of smelled like mildewy, but the rest of it like smelled pretty normal.
Interesting.
Yeah, surprisingly.
What a weird, such a weirdly specific phenomenon. Dead malls. They are really these like there were essentially like modern caves, like ruins that people can go into and just fuck shit up. They're like
modern
wild,
caves.
because all that shit that goes down there are raping and goddamn, that's so scary.
And what was interesting was I was talking to the dude who let me in. And he was saying that there was one time he went in there and there was this big, like, gangbanger dude that was, like, gigantic. Except the guy must have been, like, 6'6", like, standing, blocking a doorway. And he heard people screaming in the back. and this dude just flashed a gun at him, and he said there was nothing he could do, so he just went back and went the other way and called the cops.
Fuck.
But by the time the cops got there, he said, nothing happened. They couldn't find anybody.
God.
But like, who knows what was going on back there?
Jesus Christ.
So it's like, when I say, in the beginning, it's like, oh, it's it's ominous, and I was told to proceed with caution. I wasn't messing with you guys. Like the dude was scared to go in there alone.
Yeah.
Like he's like I want you to come in as backup. He's like, because I won't go in there alone. And he's like, the trade off is you go ahead and record.
You get your footage. You gotta get your feet wet.
Yes, exactly.
You were like Nightcrawler.
I was like Nightcrawler. And it was so fucking cool. So between that and Albuquerque within the last 30 some odd days, pretty cool stuff.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and I know the channel has seemed kind of dormant in a way, but that's because everything I've been giving you guys on the channel has been bigger and better.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got big mall. I mean, of course I did like that little golf course video. That was just for fun. That was just like on a random Tuesday night. I was just like, I feel like vlogging. But, the Breaking Bad, the Better Call Saul stuff, I mean, that was my own personal time and money and just wanting to do something cool for you guys. And and we've got more stuff, coming down the line, so I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, all I've been doing is really slowly and meticulously putting together my Mandalorian.
I love it. I love it. It's very nice. It's got the red accentos.
Yeah, slowly coming together. I have real leather holsters and a belt with a bunch of pouches that are coming, and then I think it's pretty much done.
So what advice would you give to people getting into the cosplay arena? Would you consider yourself a cosplayer now?
I don't know. This is the only one I've really ever done. And
I think technically you are, or if you're not a cosplayer, you're just a Mandalorian.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I don't know. I guess I've done cosplays for previous like Oblivion skits and shit. I've done the night.
True.
But that was like a comedic.
True.
Like, it wasn't like well done. This one I'm actually trying to make it look kind of good.
There's so many people that like center their identity around it.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm a cosplayer.
I know, yeah.
Well, especially hot chicks, but we don't mind that.
Of course, yeah.
But there's some dudes that are like, I'm Batman and I'm also Green Arrow.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's like his thing, and it's like this like $3,000 personalized costume.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's funny because the women will have like a bikini and then blue hair, and they'll be like, I'm this anime character. It doesn't fucking matter. Whereas like the men, me, we're like covering our whole body with like metal.
Yes. Trade-offs.
Like a polar opposite, yeah.
Trade-offs.
Oh, man.
Well, the interesting thing is, any cosplayer guys that we'd follow on Instagram is actually because you're like, oh, that's cool. It's like art, It's like art mixed with acting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've got a cool Batman or you've got a cool Flash or whoever. But with the girls, you're like, I want to fuck them.
Yeah. That's all that is.
So that's kind of what it is.
But my only advice is make it something you really, really have like always wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because like as a kid, I was obsessed with the Mandalorians. I read all the comics. I played the Star Wars Bounty Hunter game constantly.
Dark Horse?
Yeah, I love Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Dark Horse. It's so good.
So good.
And just my whole life, I was just like had a hard on for the armor.
Yes.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So for the first time in my life, I actually have the money to spend on
Totally worth it.
putting it on. So yeah.
So my question is, and I'm sure a lot of you guys will be wondering too, are we going to see a LaFave Mandalorian at Comic-Con?
We will, and actually, I mean, in the spirit of sort of just like telling you what we're up to.
Yes.
I know I've been putting this off forever, but we still need to do, for our LaFavros channel, we still need to do one last Jedi Academy Let's Play. And for one of the early episodes, we did a really fun skit in the beginning of that.
Yep.
Where I was like flying the X-Wing and everything.
That was sick.
And so for the last one, I want to do another skit. And I want it to sort of, actually, I've been thinking about what I want to do with it. I obviously want the Mandalorian thing in it.
Absolutely.
And then I want it to kind of pick up where the last one left off, where I see... I'm like passing out in the desert, and then I see like a vision of Max. It's supposed to be like episode 5.
Hell yeah.
And I want to pick up there. We're like, I want you to be Han, and then you like come save me.
I would love to.
Yeah, and then I found a green screen of the interior of the Millennium Falcon with Chewie, and then we'll put you next to Chewie.
Sick.
Flying
I would love it.
And what I want it to be is we blow up the Death Star, but in our version, the Death Star is like the YouTube censors.
Oh, cool.
And we're all bummed out that we can't get money off of the Star Wars video because of the music and stuff, so we just like blow up the.
Nice, I like that.
It's stupid.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Very doable.
Yeah.
What's the timeline on this? What we think?
No idea.
Okay. You heard it here in 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. Yeah. That's exciting.
I'll get you a vest and the white shirt. And
I would love that.
I don't know. We'll have to sit down and like write it because I don't know how intense I want it to be. The first one was like 1 minute and 50 seconds, but this one will obviously be longer.
Will this be the final Jedi Academy?
Mm-hmm. No, that's fine.
Very exciting. Cool.
It's been like 6 months.
Dude, that game is a blast.
It's so fucking fun.
It is so much fun.
It's so
they need to make more games like that. Now, I did kind of get into the Fallen Order a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's okay, but there were, like we talked about, the parts of it that are a little too redundant.
Yeah.
Where like, I was like, literally, maybe I'm just stupid, but like I was having difficulty getting out of some areas.
No,
and then I'm like, fucking A. Like, so I hate to break down and do it, but I was like, I'm not going to play the game on easy, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm playing just on regular difficulty. Eventually, you gotta go on YouTube and look it up, because it's like with some of the Tomb Raider puzzles, it's like, dude, fucking, I gotta look this shit up.
Yeah.
I'll try like 20 times, but after a while, I'm like, okay, I want to get past this.
Yeah. And games are doing a weird thing now, where they're like, when they're like semi-open world like that, you can stumble upon shit that you're like not supposed to see, and it can be like really tough. I remember I was on like I played it for like a day, and I was on the second planet, and I randomly found
the green one with the big bug things that attack you.
I think so. I don't know. I think it was like rolly. It was almost like the rhino from Spider-Man. It was like yeah. And I remember being really tough. And I was like, this is the beginning of the game. Why is it so tough? And finally someone told me like, oh, you're not supposed to fight this until level 20. I was like, how do I know?
Yeah, seriously.
It was Spanish, so it's just like weird.
Yeah.
And they're very repetitive. All those games are repetitive. I had a lot of fun with that Avengers game for like a week, and then I was like, this is the same. It gets so stale and depressing now. So quickly.
I get that. Yeah, the last game, I mean, you guys heard me say a million times, the Uncharted games I love, and the Tomb Raider games I love. Yeah. But the only other one that held my attention was I did like the first Last of Us, but I didn't even finish it. So it's like, I have very low patience for video games. I have a bunch of games that I bought that are just sitting there. I have like 5 or 6 of them I just haven't opened.
Baby needs to beat Red Dead Redemption.
I really do. Red Dead Redemption 2 is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan. It's fantastic, but I need to finish it.
It does take a lot of time. Yeah. Yes. But I promise you it's worth it.
And I also got Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
No!
I haven't taken it out of the box yet. Yeah. So I'm not a big gamer.
I downloaded the Egyptian Assassin's Creed. I forget what it's called.
I have that.
I played
Origins.
I played like half of the tutorial and I just stopped.
It's got, and like the thing is, like, I used to play video games a lot, but after a certain point, like, it has to really draw me in, or I just don't care.
Yeah. And honestly, I've been playing a lot of the old. Maybe it's just because it's from when we were a kid. Well, I don't even know about this one because Emily's a big Sonic fan.
Love Sonic.
She's been playing a lot of Sonic.
Have you been playing Frontiers?
Yeah, well, she's been playing it. She likes it.
Cool.
But we've been playing this one. It's not even old, but it feels old because it's called Sonic Transformers 2 or some shit, and it's like a racing game.
Okay.
But it has Wreck-It Ralph in it, so it's like not that old.
Interesting.
But it feels older, and it's just kind of like Mario Kart, but like with all the Sonic characters and shit. And it's like super fun. I'm having way more fun with that than like anything.
Cool. Nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah. Sonic is he's the man.
He is the man.
I love Sonic. Yeah. I don't have a bad word to say about Sonic.
Yeah, he's cool.
Sonic is great.
Sonic is great.
And Knuckles.
I
like Dark Sonic.
Dark Sonic. Oh yeah, Dark Shadow. Yeah, I know his characters now.
Yeah, he's cool. Tails.
Yeah.
Take him or leave him.
Yeah. He's it's a little bit. The game that I am legitimately very excited for that I think comes out in like a little over a week is the new Hogwarts game.
100%.
God, it looks good.
It looks so cool.
So fucking cool.
Yeah, Harry Potter, super fun. Yeah. We were both pretty big Harry Potter fans when we were kids.
Potterheads.
And then kind of fell, at least I fell out of it.
Yeah.
After around
11.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I was. The last one I remember reading was Goblet of Fire, which was, I believe, the 4th one. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then I only watched the first 3 movies, and I never watched any other movies beyond that. And I never read any of the books beyond the 4th one because, I started liking girls. But, they're super fun though. Like, we go to Universal, like, the Harry Potter land is like, so freaking cool.
You haven't seen any of the movies past 3?
Yeah. No.
Still to this day? Wow. I'm like the opposite. I read like most of the first one, and then I watched all the movies.
Interesting.
But
but what's interesting is, I do think it's super fun, and actually going to Universal kind of like rekindled my interest in it, and that video game looks sick.
Yeah.
So I think I'll go back and watch the movie.
We should have a Harry Potter marathon.
I would love to. Have a watch party, Doc.
Have a watch party, yeah. All those movies.
Might even have a watch party. Might even have a watch party, Doc.
Holy shit! So the Super Bowl's gonna be in Arizona.
Yeah.
This year. I just learned that a couple hours ago. I didn't think it was gonna be in Arizona.
Yeah, it's coming.
Who's playing? You know?
I think it's the. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Celtics basketball team. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Buckaroos. I don't know the other team.
Oh, the Buckaroos!
Somebody coming to get you.
I remember last time it was here, Conan did one of his coolest gamer things here. I remember being excited that he was like in the area.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I would be so starstruck to meet Conan O'Brien.
I know. Yeah. He did the one with Marshawn Lynch and they played like Mortal Kombat and it was super funny.
That's cool. I'm gonna look up his Super Bowl.
Let's see. Dude, the traffic, holy shit.
It's gonna be insane. So my thing about it is, yeah, it's exciting. Super Bowl's fun to watch. All right, rah, rah. But like, it's fucking irritating because there's too many people here, and it's going to be obnoxious.
Yeah, there's too many people here as is.
Eagles and Chiefs.
Oh, you're close.
Super Bowl LVII. Whatever that is. What is that like?
That's too much. I don't know.
49? I don't know. But, I don't know my numerals past like 10.
Disney's next Star Wars episode 20 years from now.
Yeah, give them time.
Star Wars LX.
But no, so yeah, I guess it's exciting. Like, I'll watch it for sure. I'll put some money down. It's fun, to kind of just like watch the game and enjoy it. But the playoff games were really fun.
Yeah.
The ones building up to it were pretty enjoyable. But aside from that, yeah, it's just the crowds are irritating. Yeah. And also I worry about the security. Like, as fucked up as it sounds, I'm like, is there going to be a shooting? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you always have to kind of worry about stuff like that here. And also there's going to be a lot of stuff downtown where I work. So, like, I see them, like, plastering all these Super Bowl things on the side of the buildings, and they're going to have events downtown as well.
You're right in the neighborhood there. You're near the stadium, right?
Well, no. So the actual game is going to happen in Glendale at the arena.
Oh, okay.
So way the heck out there. But they're going to have a whole bunch of, like, ancillary events downtown.
Shit.
So it's going to be irritating.
Jesus Christ.
As far as traffic goes, we're thinking from the annoying, like, old man standpoint of like, fucking kids.
Yeah, well, maybe and people get so into it. But I have a band practice with my buddy who's a drummer on Sundays, and it's like, it's his trio, it's his thing.
Yeah.
And he was like,
John Mayer Trio?
John Mayer Trio.
Yeah.
And he was kicking us out on Sunday because he didn't want to miss the playoff game.
Exactly.
And so, all right, man. And but yeah, this place is busy anyway, and like I enjoy football or the Super Bowl Sunday.
I enjoy the American football.
Not like the European football. Le foot.
The football.
But I enjoy the Super Bowl even more so when it's far away, because you're just like hang out, you get the chips and the dip, you just watch it. But now it's almost like stressful because we're going to be so like gridlocked. It's like Black Friday in mass.
It is.
Yeah.
But I think once it's here, there is like a little bit of an excitement in the air for sure.
Yeah.
And we'll watch the game, like we'll enjoy it. Like I'm not totally against it at all, but the crowds are a fucking.
It's too much.
They're a fucking bitch. But anyway, enjoy some Super Bowl commercials real quick, and we'll be back with some more grievances.
In an ongoing research project to determine the ultimate beverage, I'm isolating superstar model Cindy Crawford in a Pepsi deprivation chamber.
I'll do anything for science.
We're allowing Cindy a wide range of beverages, but not a single solitary drop of Pepsi. Don't push. Here. You'll be all right. Whoa. And now for the results. Cindy, how do you feel?
I don't know about you guys, but I'm dying for a Pepsi.
Conclusive scientific proof. Pepsi is the ultimate beverage.
Hello and welcome back. I hope you enjoyed those necessary but evil commercials.
Oh.
So one thing that's kind of fun about doing what we do and not having a boss and just making YouTube shit as a hobby that you guys get to enjoy. Overall, in New Mexico, everyone was super nice. Like, it was an overwhelmingly positive experience. Everyone was super cool, yada, yada, yada. Oh, I mentioned the biz. But what's kind of cool is, I try to ask permission to go to these places. And everyone was, pretty responsive, which was cool. But I talked to this one place, negative shout out to the Botger Mansion. Shout in to the Botger Mansion. I think it's Botger or something like that. Botger Mansion, and it's supposed to be this like haunted inn in Albuquerque. And I called them up because I hit up a few different places that were like paranormal hot spots. And there's a place called the Park Central Hotel that I did a video on, which I'm super excited to show you guys. The guy there was super cool. Everyone there was very nice. But I called the Botger Mansion.
Oh, Botger.
And I said, hey, I'm a YouTuber. I'm looking to, do a paranormal video and check out the Botger Mansion, see, kind of what you guys have going on. And she's like, I'm gonna stop you right there. Absolutely not. And I was like, okay. And then she's like, yeah, we don't do stuff like that. The paranormal. And I was like, okay. I was like, I'm just in the area, from Phoenix. And she's like, look, I don't care. She's like, thanks for calling. And I was like, hey, you know what? Go fuck yourself. And then I just heard her kind of just like start to say something, and then I hung up. And I was like, that was satisfying.
That
So that's the best part of, in the past I've worked call center jobs and I've had to take shit from people. Yeah. So that was super satisfying.
Yeah.
And I guess the lesson at the end of the day is don't take no shit.
Don't take no shit, guys. Stick to your dreams.
Gotta stick to your guns, little motherfuckers. But it felt good, and I hope that bitch gets haunted.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is, I just can't fathom calling to a place and like what she should have said was, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't really do that, but thanks for calling."
Yeah.
That's fine. I'd be like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
But where she's like, "No, I'm gonna stop you right there." No. I'm like, "Fuck you!" I was like, "Fuck off."
She was a Karen, but she was part of the establishment because usually the Karen is the one complaining. But
Exactly.
She was the complainee,
and I was very polite.
Yeah,
I was like, I'll be respectful of guests and everything. She's like, "No, I'm gonna stop you right there."
What a bitch!
Fuck you, bitch. So once in a while you run into people like that. There's also a crazy that I ran into. You can see her for a second. I thought it recorded more, but for whatever reason it cut out. At like the last part where I wish it would have recorded her, but it was at the Crossroads Motel where they do like those shady dealings with the prostitutes in Better Call Saul. You know that one that's like right by the freeway, and like Kim goes and talks to that hooker. And like it's also in Breaking Bad. Like there's a scene where like Hank takes Walt Jr. there to see like the dregs of humanity. And anyway, I went and vlogged that in New Mexico, and walked up. There was like a dude checking in. It was kind of just a shitty by the side of the road motel, like nothing spectacular, just a filming location. And I stepped up by the pool, and this lady's like, "Yeah, I stay in the parking lot." And she was like freaking out, like she popped her head out like some character from a fucking Muppet show. God. And she's like, "Yeah, I stay down." And I'm like, she's like just screaming, and I'm like, maybe you should put up a sign. She's like, there are signs, sir, get down.
Oh my
Like, what the
God.
fuck? So I just intentionally just stand there longer and just keep recording, and then I just slowly step down, and then I started recording again.
Yeah.
And I was like, what a fucking psycho bitch.
Insane.
I'm like, lady, obviously you guys were paid by the production. It's bringing people in who are interested in your shitty little roadside motel. You're a fucking moron. Like, you're a fucking moron. So that lady can just totally go fuck off. I mean, I think she was a little crazy, but still, fuck her. Like, so, yeah, once in a while you do run into that, but I think I've developed a little bit more of a thicker skin. Yeah. Because I really don't care as much. I mean, like, I'll talk shit about them, but, like, I wasn't, like, dwelling on it the rest of the day, like, oh, they hurt my feelings. It's like, you just run into people like that, and it's... The older you get, the more you're likely to say, "Hey, go fuck yourself."
Yeah, which is it is a nice
or just keep filming.
And I think places like that, if it really is legitimately just like prostitute central or whatever, they probably don't want. Because Max and I think I told you once, Max and I drove down the depths of Van Buren one day, literally just to like see it. And we
I hope you guys had your armor on.
Yeah, we should have.
Fuck.
We pulled into this motel, looked like the shittiest motel I've ever seen in my life, just for the sake of stopping and looking. Yeah. And I think we were like the only car besides like one or two others in the parking lot there, and we just kind of walked around the perimeter in front of all the different rooms.
Got out of your car.
Yeah, we got out of our car. We walked around the perimeter in front of all the different doors, all the different rooms, and I remember like one was like cracked open, and there were people, you could hear people having sex in there, and it was like cracked. And then a whole like quarter of the entire motel was like burnt down just to a crisp, and it was just like left like that. Jeez. And we were just walking around, and we were like, oh, this is fucking crazy. And then we saw like their little office area, which is like this teeny little shitty place. This like old Mexican woman walks out from there and just like stares at us.
She's like, "Are you lovers?"
Yeah. She didn't say a word. She just kind of stared us down, like waiting for us to leave.
Cornhusking.
Yeah, right. And so we were maybe there another minute, and we just noticed that she just kept staring. She didn't get any farther towards us. She just stared at us from afar. And we were like, all right, we should get going. Wow. That was it. So like she didn't want us there, It's like, wow. I think it's like she knows, those people know it's like for that certain group of people. Exactly. And they don't even want anyone else there because they'll probably give a bad review.
A bad review, or they think you're a cop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wow. Weird. Yeah.
That's insane. You guys had some balls going. Yeah. Is it like one of those shitty ones, like off, not quite Skid Row, but like where you see all like the prostitutes and like where it's like,
in that area,
like you're gonna get shot in that area?
And then we drove into the neighborhood behind that, and that was even like, I don't know about scarier, but there were a bunch of people like hanging out in the middle of the street.
Exactly.
Like a shitload of people just hanging out in the middle of like the street, and we had to like slowly, and then they saw us, and they all stopped what they were doing.
And they all looked.
And they literally just like looked at us, and we kind of had to like slowly go through it. It was fucking insane.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Yeah, you've heard us say it a million times here, guys, but like there's some rough areas.
Yeah, there's really rough areas.
Yeah, I mean there's rough areas everywhere. I'm sure Albuquerque included, but yeah, there's definitely a sketch factor you got to be.
There really is. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are ballsy, man.
Thanks.
Well, I remember going to one hotel one time with our buddy Alan. Shout out to Alan Evans. We were going to LA and then going over to San Diego. This was probably like, I don't know, let's say like 8 years ago, something like that. And we drove in, I was super tired. It was like one of those, like we like arrived at night. It was like one of those kind of spontaneous trips. And that was a trip where I remember everyone was really shitty to us in LA.
Oh no.
Like we went by like, we went out to like the Santa Monica Pier, and I just remember people being like kind of shitty to us. Like even the servers were rude to us. And then we went to this little hotel like deeper inland, and we made the mistake. This is a lesson that I learned early on, where we went to like one of those little motels because we were like trying to save money. You know, we were like 21 or whatever, and we didn't ask to see the room. We were just like, hey, we'll buy a room for the night, and we paid it, and it was like more expensive than it should have been, and we paid for it. We went in, and the room was like terrifying. Like we went in, and it was like hair on the pillow and like stains that looked like blood stains and who knows what else. And it was like you were expecting rats to come out at any second. It was like bad. It was like a bad motel where I was like, oh dude, I literally said it like, dude, I'd rather sleep in the car.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I don't want to be here. And so we went back and we were in the room for maybe 10 minutes, just like discussing what to do. And finally we decided, I was like, dude, I'm tired. I'm like, but let's get an energy drink and I'll just drive to San Diego.
Oh my God.
So it was like another like 2 or 2.5 hours from LA. And I'm like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to stay here. Let's just power through and go to a place that we're more familiar with.
Shit.
And so we went to the guy at the desk, and he was immediately combative. He's like, absolutely not, no refunds. Jeez. And I was like, dude, come on. He's like, I don't know what you guys did in there. And I'm like, what do you think we did? We fucked? I'm like, no.
Yes.
I'm like, no, we're coming here to sleep. And then he's like, no. He's like, absolutely no refunds.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, fuck, like I wanted that money back because it was, I think between us it was like $80, but still, I need that money, yeah. But still, we're like young guys on vacation. It's like, I don't want to stay at your shit motel,
Yeah.
So finally, I told Alan, I was like, you get what's the phrase? You get more flies with honey than vinegar or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can be nice to him. So I went back to the guy. And I was like, look, hey man. Nothing against your establishment, I said, but we got an emergency. We got to bail. Like we can't stay here. Family emergency. Got to go. And for whatever reason, the way I said it was convincing. It sounds like bullshit, but like he seemed to believe me. He said, "I'll tell you what." He was like, "I keep $10 for the inconvenience, but you get everything back." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So we got like whatever it was, like $70 back, and we got to leave. But it was one of those where it was like, now I'd be like, no, give me my money. Yeah. But back then I was more, timid. Yeah. But still, we got most of it back. And that was one of those situations where I learned like, oh, dude, like check the room out beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Check the room out beforehand if you can. If not, make sure it's like legit and read the reviews on Booking.com.
Yeah.
But this was like literally just like we're exhausted, side of the road type situation.
Yeah, that's rough.
But yeah, never go in sight unseen if you can avoid it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but anyway, we ended up, cruising. I think we got a couple monsters and drove out to San Diego. We stayed at the Pacific Shores Inn,
which
is like a cozy place we've been staying for years. Oh, wonderful!
I want to give a shout out to Alan because he cracked me up the other day. You added us on this post on Instagram that was posted for this new movie, The Marvels. Maybe it's a show, maybe it's a movie. It's just Captain Marvel. The stretchy lady, and then like another black Captain Marvel.
Oh, isn't it America? What's her name? America Chavez?
I think that's Cat.
Whatever.
I don't know. Anyway,
one of those chicks.
3 girls, and you said, "Hell yes, finally, what we've all been waiting for." And you added me and Alan and James. And then Alan said, "So excited! It's about time females get their chance." And it just cracked me up, like coming from him. Just cracked me up.
Yeah, those. I just love how they keep pushing those shows out, and like nobody gives a fuck.
No one gives a shit anymore. Yeah.
No one gives a shit.
It's finally just
what's kind of interesting is not to toot our own horn, but I think literally from the very first. Actually, I know from the very first Unfazed Review podcast, the number one. We kind of ripped on like, hey, we're getting tired of superhero movies, and like as much as we're superhero fans, some of the Avengers movies and stuff they're overrated.
Yeah.
And we were saying this like years ago. Now it seems like that's kind of the common sentiment. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people are like, hey, it's too much, we're getting burned out on it. Yeah. There's certain ones we're excited for, but there's other ones like you read the comments on Instagram, people are like, give it up.
Yeah.
And it seems like people are finally coming around, like
finally,
5-6 years later, where they're like, "Oh, that's shit."
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's ridiculous. Some of the stuff I am excited about, though, is the Lanterns show that they just announced for DC, which is going to be on HBO as a TV show. It's going to be Hal Jordan and another Lantern. I forget the other Lantern, but it's going to be like their journey, and they said they're going to go for like a gritty, like True Detective vibe, but it's for like Green Lanterns.
That's pretty interesting.
They're going to make a new Superman movie, so we'll see. I've never seen a Superman movie that I like.
It's not Henry Cavill anymore. So he had a pretty decent Superman, but
He's
his movies
fine,
are such ass. Yeah.
He's fine, but I've never, to be honest, I've never seen the original Christopher Reeve movies. I heard he was great, you know.
I saw it once when I was a kid, I think.
I heard for the era, like, he's great. So, you know, obviously go in, you know, understanding that it was like late 1970s.
Yeah.
So I'd give that a chance, but everything else, like Superman Returns, I thought was trash. Henry Cavill's cool, but like those movies, I'm not a big Zack Snyder fan, and they seem to kind of just go on and on and on and never end.
Yeah.
So not a huge fan, but I was hoping for a Batman Beyond announcement, but no Batman Beyond announcement. They're going to do a Supergirl movie. They're going to do Swamp Thing again, which I think they already did like a couple years ago. Swamp Thing.
Standalone Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
But I guess, what's his face? The dude that did Guardians of the Galaxy and all that. The dude that's in charge. James Gunn. Yeah. He said they're going to make a point to make it like cohesive. So it's like you've got like the main canon DC universe, and then you have Elseworlds, which will be like Matt Reeves' Batman and like the Joker with Joaquin and stuff like that. And they're going to say, hey, those are like on the fringes, and then here's the main like, you know, Shazam, Flash, Wonder Woman, like exactly. So we'll see what happens. It seems like they're going with a lot of planning, but I never hold my breath. You know?
Of all those DC movies that have come out recently, at least from that core of what they're trying to do with Justice League, the first Wonder Woman I think was my favorite actually.
It was pretty good.
It was good.
The villain I thought sucked.
Yeah, the villain sucked. I barely remember the villain. Yeah. But I think the best scene was when they were like in the trenches, and then she was like, "Oh fuck this," and she goes out. They all follow her. It was so cool. It had a lot of heart.
It was
cool.
good.
Yeah.
It was good.
You know, it wasn't fucking amazing, but like.
No.
Considering all the other ones, I think it was for
sure. I'm curious about the Flash movie, even though I hear Ezra Miller's
he's
a
piece of shit. Yeah.
He's a fucking weirdo, but I'm curious to see Michael Keaton's Batman come in. And I'm really hoping that opens the door to Batman Beyond. And you could have Michael Keaton as the elder Bruce Wayne. So we'll see.
I'm very not excited for, and I don't think, I know you, I've cooled off on the Joker. It's a good like thriller, and but the sequel with what's her face, it's going to be a musical.
I like Gaga. I'm Gaga for Gaga.
I'm Google for Gaga.
Yeah, we'll see how it is, man. You know, they say it's going to be a musical, but I'm wondering if it'll be like one dream sequence where they sing.
Like 2 or 3 songs.
Yeah, like that's it, because we'll see what they do. I like the direction they're taking. It's kind of cool. And you finally saw the Pattinson Batman.
The new Batman, yeah, it was good. I will say the intro, I felt like it dragged on a little bit once it got going. Yeah. And the chase scene with Penguin was so fucking cool.
It was so sick.
And the ending was really cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was the most real world Batman I've seen.
It felt very real world.
And I know you can't really compare it. It's like, you know, cliche, like apples and oranges. It's fucking, you know, Pattinson to Bale.
Yeah.
It's like you can't compare them. You know, it's like they're two totally different things. Yeah. But I enjoyed them in their own right, and I look forward to seeing what they do. I hope they don't focus too much on that Joker, you know, in the new one.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that guy looks stupid.
Yeah. I didn't mind it, but it's only because some of the comics I read growing up, Joker really did look like this fucked up monster of a man.
Yeah.
And which was like, a lot of comics were gross. Even the way even like the heroes were drawn, they're like terrifying ogres of men. Yeah. I remember the Joker being like hideous. Yeah. But
it's crazy to think of some of those heroes like Batman as a real guy. Like he'd be a fucking psycho.
Yeah, he's terrifying.
But he's amazing. Yeah. Very cool.
That's cool.
But I'm curious about the new chapter of DC, and it looks like they're mapping things out for like the next like 7-8 years. So that'll be kind of annoying also.
Yeah.
But
James
I'm curious.
Gunn though, I don't know. I mean, James Gunn did a great job with the Guardians movies, I think.
One thing I think they fuck up on is is like a big company like DC being like, okay, who's the guy who did something successful? Okay, everything we have is on him. Where it's like, I'm sure there'll be other directors, but like making one guy have so much power, kind of like they did with Zack Snyder, doesn't work.
Yeah, I know. And like totally, Guardians of the Galaxy is so far from like any DC hero I can think of. So
exactly.
Like,
except maybe Shazam.
Yeah,
Shazam movie I fucking hated. I thought it was stupid. The opening was cool, like him becoming Shazam and everything, but like all the like fucking Captain Planet kids at the end, I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah, that was bad. And they didn't really think ahead, because now he's like a young adult, and the whole point of Shazam is that he's like a little kid. He's like 8 in the beginning, but they made him like 13 or 14 in the beginning, so now he's just like an adult that turns into an older adult, and it's like lame and weird.
Dude, Black Adam was bad.
Yeah.
Black Adam
and
was bad.
Dwayne Johnson was a dick about that, because like Black Adam's Shazam's villain, and they asked him if he wanted to be at least do like a cameo in the new Shazam movie, and he was like, no. Just Black Adam. Like, fuck you, dude.
Wow.
What a dick.
Yeah, it was bad. And like The Rock, he's fine. He's in too much stuff.
Yeah.
But he's okay, you know. And the suit looked silly. Like they threw in way too much of that stupid contrived humor. Where like there'd be like a really serious like shootout or something. And this crazy scene with helicopters exploding and shit. This kid would come in and be like, "Can you teach me how to do that?" And then they'd have like that fat guy in the van that would come in for comic relief.
Jesus
and I was like,
Christ.
this is the dumbest shit.
I told you, I almost got you a Black Adam Dwayne Johnson toy for
Thank
Christmas.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I wanted to like it.
Yeah.
I went and saw it in theaters. I wanted to like it, but it just there was no impact. Whenever there was like a shootout or a fight scene or anything like that,
Just didn't matter.
it felt like you were watching just like some video game action that like you're not even playing, so like you're not invested.
Right.
You're just like, oh, this is like a lot of CGI and it like. There's like nothing at stake at all.
Yeah.
Like it's just like
The best movies that guy's been in was that first Jumanji reboot.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Dude, Jumanji is where it's at.
Yeah, it was good.
I agree for sure.
And the second one, the first one was great though.
I didn't watch the second one, but the first one was fun.
Forget it. It had Aquafina in it. I'm getting a little sick of Aquafina.
Yeah. Look, she's funny.
She's funny. She makes funny face.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Yes.
Jesus.
I remember being shushed at the first Jumanji movie. And I was like, this bitch. I was like, I like said like 2 words to my girlfriend at the time, and like the lady like turned around and was like, shh, and I was like, I was like, yeah.
I will say what was fun. I went in with no expectations. Was the Megan movie.
Oh,
It had. I mean, it wasn't like, good or great or anything, but it had a healthy sense of humor about itself, and it was honestly just like funny more than anything.
okay.
It was enjoyable.
Sometimes you need a good B movie.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah. People's like reactions to Megan were like very genuine and just hilarious.
Yeah. So how did they do it? Was it just like one of those like anemic, like skinny, like 19-year-old gymnast
I don't know how
girls?
they did it because it really did look. You couldn't tell. Whoever the like body, whoever the person was, did a really fucking good job.
Interesting.
And there's that whole like famous dance sequence and stuff. Now it looks so bizarre.
Okay.
But like I don't know how they did it, but it looks good.
Megan is gonna, like I said, I haven't even watched it yet, but now I will.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be one of those that like 20 years down the road is like a cult classic. It's gonna be like
absolutely,
everyone's gonna be like Megan.
They're already making another one.
Wow.
Because it does feel very quick too. It's like it all, and towards the end, I don't like where it goes, but
Okay. I kind of like how that happens now, though,
Yeah.
even though we live in such an era of oversaturation of superheroes and like really contrived bullshit. Once in a while, you get kind of a shitty B movie, and all these people like go see it because they want something original.
Yeah.
And it becomes a hit. Like those X movies, like a lot of people love those. I gotta say, I didn't like the first one at all. But a lot of people seem to really like it. Like,
Which one?
The movie X. It's called X.
Oh, that horror movie you said?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. I thought it fell into that category of creepy old people are scary.
Yeah.
And that's like every fucking horror movie now. And it's not really old people, it's young people in old people suits, and it's stupid, I think.
Yeah.
But a lot of people love that movie, and I respect it because it did do something kind of original. And it seems like people are just like super hungry for that. So anytime something comes out with like a unique spin on something, people are like, "Oh fuck yeah, more of this, more of this," which is cool.
Oh, and also just like genuine movies, because every movie feels contrived in some way. Like they're going for something, they're trying to push the envelope in some unnecessary way.
For sure.
But I think like the best movie that I saw this year, like unironically, like genuinely a great movie, was the new Puss in Boots movie.
I heard it was fantastic.
It was fucking good.
Yes, actually, Alex was saying it was incredible.
Yeah, it was surprisingly like great.
Yeah.
And it dealt. One thing that I really appreciated about it is that it dealt with a very serious, dark theme.
It was his mortality.
Yeah, he's like facing death because it's like he's got 9 lives and he's on his last life. And he's like, holy fuck, I'm gonna die. It's like it's really well done, very emotional, very genuine, a lot of great powerful
I will
moments.
watch it.
Yeah, and it's also just like genuinely funny and cool.
Yeah. And I think it's sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
But I heard it's nominated for an Academy Award.
It better be, yeah.
So I'm sure it's going to win for like
Yeah.
best animated feature or whatever.
It was such a breath of fresh air because it was like it felt like, hey, I'm watching a movie and it's like 2008 again, where they actually made just like good movies because they wanted to.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think what a lot of children's movies have been lacking in the last 10 years is any sense of like anything's at stake or any real danger or life lesson because all like movies like Trolls and like Super Pets and shit, like everything's like happy all the time. Like nothing bad ever happens. You don't have to learn anything. Everything's just great, and it's like it's making kids like dumb and. You need to teach them consequence and facing real things, and it's like Puss in Boots does a really fucking good job of that. Yeah, you should check it out.
Shout out to Puss in Boots.
Shout out to Puss in Boots.
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, it's great, man.
You know, who would have thought that Shrek would have spawned this incredible empire of like this fantastic cinematic legacy?
I know, yeah.
Shrek. I heard that Shrek was added to like the National Film Archives of like films to preserve, like along with like Citizen Kane and movies like that, because they said it was culturally significant, and so they like made sure the first Shrek was preserved.
That's hilarious.
Which I respect. Shrek was fantastic, and it's so funny because it like came out of nowhere.
I love the DreamWorks animated universe.
I do too.
They How to Train Your Dragon.
Those are great. Those are fantastic. Yes. I've never seen them.
They did. Really? You never seen them? Oh my god!
Never seen them.
Second one, the movie trip a little bit.
Wow,
yeah.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. But yeah,
the first one's great too.
Hot take. DreamWorks, I think better than Pixar now.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
easy,
for sure.
Easy, yeah.
I like old Pixar. Like, of course, we all love Toy Story.
Yeah.
I grew up loving Bugs Life. Like, they did some good shit. But DreamWorks, don't sleep on DreamWorks.
Now they're doing Turning Red.
Yes,
yeah.
Everything has to be a little too woke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're super woke and they're super like all the kids are obnoxious.
Yeah. What happened with kids movies? I think we talked about this before, but like animated and actual live action kids movies, like they used to have heart and used to be more genuine. And I don't think it was just because we were kids. Because like I can watch like some movies as adults, like go back and watch like The Sandlot or movies like that, and like they hold up. Go back and watch a fucking Bug's Life, a movie like that. Like it holds up. It's well made. It was made with the intent of entertaining the adults, taking the kids to it, and entertaining the kids as well. That seems to have gone away. Now it seems like really dumbed down and like really watered down.
Exactly.
And anything, I don't really watch that much, kids content, but like the few like animated films I have seen and stuff, it seems like it really is dumbed down.
Super dumbed down, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you think that's about?
I think partially it's like studios are trying to keep up with the diminishing attention spans that kids have.
Yeah.
Everything's gotta be so quick. And then, another thing, for some reason, like, the movies themselves need to feel safe.
Yeah.
Like, you watch The Iron Giant, and at the end, like, the kid's, like, dangling in his arms as they're getting shot at by, like, the U.S. Army. Yeah. It's like, he's in real danger. And I'm not saying, like, every kid's movie has to be hardcore or anything. Like, even, like, Brave Little Toaster, there's, like, the fucking random objects are, like, sacrificing themselves for each other. And, like, there's some sense of, like...
There was some darkness.
Yeah.
Dude, Lion King?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with that movie when I was a kid. And you think about that, like, Mufasa dying, like... That was heavy. It's heavy shit.
And it's actually like, I would argue that that's important for kids because it's difficult for them to understand that.
For sure.
Like, they can't understand, like, I really am going to die, or like, certain things have real consequences and reactions.
For sure.
And so, children's movies should have moments like that. But they just don't anymore. Like, everything's fine and fluffy, and it's like, it's really bad for kids, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
Boycott Pixar.
Yeah.
Anti-Disney. Yeah. It's so funny. It's like, you look at it like, for instance, the first few Toy Story movies, I think they made like, 4 now? But the first 3 in particular, like, really, really great movies.
Yeah, fantastic.
It was so good, like, groundbreaking, especially the first one. But you look at, like, that Lightyear movie, like, that movie fucking tanked. Like, that piece of shit tanked.
Yeah, that was a bad idea to begin with.
Yeah. Everyone was like, no. I'm not on board for it. And I heard it had, like, the lowest box office of, like, any Pixar movie ever.
Good, fuck them.
Yeah. Which is a surprise.
Pixar's also, like, everything's still so stylized like the old Pixar, except the animation itself is getting so high quality. So you see, like, every hair and every, like, pore in their skin, but then, like, they still have these giant eyes, and it's, like, scary, you know?
It's weird,
It's like a real human coming at you. It's all fucked up.
You know one that was really good? Aside from Klaus, which I need to watch.
Well, next Christmas. You can't watch it in the summers.
I might. 2 years in a row I've missed It's a Wonderful Life, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna watch It's a Wonderful Life in May. It's gonna happen. I want to have a Christmas in July party and a halfway to Halloween party.
We should.
I think that would be a blast. You guys are all invited. Invitations to be determined. What was I saying? I forgot.
Besides Klaus.
I saw a couple years ago, I think it was like 2018, the Grinch that they made. Talk about beautiful animation.
Yeah?
Yeah, that one was like, it was okay story-wise. It's the Grinch, you know? It was a fine movie, but the animation, holy shit. Some of the most beautiful animation I've seen in an animated like movie like that, and maybe ever.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
Like the Grinch, it was so gorgeous, and like just like the way his hair moves and the snow, and like it was very well made. And that one I think was robbed of like an Academy Award.
I like to watch the Grinch's hair blowing in the wind.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite. I've got a Grinch poster. Yes, that's one.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I mean, the movie itself wasn't like anything spectacular. It's, you know the story.
Yeah.
But if you don't, let me tell you. So there's this green man. He's got a little tiny heart, and he's very upset with these whoos. There's little whoos with these turned up noses.
Does he have a dog he like abuses?
He does. Yeah. With one antler on his head,
Jesus,
and he kicks it around.
Christ.
Yeah, but anyway, the Grinch, guys.
Wow.
So, I think we got time for one more little commercial break here, and then I think we can dive into the email. And also, I would like to talk about Emmett's new living situation.
Oh yeah.
21. Oh, the luck's got to change.
Lately, it seems you're so... The Wavy Lays halftime show, Rockin' Country Sunday, right after this message.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Super Bowl 28, the match between the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills.
Excuse me, sir. I bet you can't eat just one Wavy Lays potato chip.
Okay, son. What are we betting for?
Your seat. Excuse me? I bet you can't eat just one.
You messing with the wrong person now. I'll take that bet.
Hi. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
New Wavy Lays. Not your ordinary ridge chip. They're Lays.
Excuse me. Hello, Mr. Quail. Care to make a bet?
Well, sure, son. What's the bet?
Can't beat these seats. Eggman! Got it! Okay, everybody go deep.
New Wavy Lays. Bet you can't eat just one.
And we're back. Hello.
Hope you enjoyed the commercials.
Were they enticing? That's what I want to know. Oh, you used to get the king of the burgers.
I went from the coffee to the root beer.
Remember that vlog we did? We did a secret menu item.
Yeah. A burger toy. Very meta.
Very meta, yeah. That was early on Phase. That was like, still one of the best videos we've done.
It's a good one. Yeah, it's a classic.
One of the few unfazed gifts, me doing the cocaine.
There are more though. So many gifts of our chef skit.
Oh, that's right.
There's a gift of you slapping me.
Classic. Yeah. That's what I like. Thank you to whoever made that. I think that was it. Paul who made that, or
maybe. I'm not sure.
Thank you.
I'll keep making gifts.
Yeah, whoever. Yeah, make some good ones. Make some more flattering ones.
It's exciting to type on Phase or our names into the gift search and just pop up.
If you see more of us looking heroic and cool,
we do have a lot of so many skits. There's so many gifts.
There were some good ones. Yeah.
I'll have to think about that more. But anyway. Yeah, moved in for a little bit now.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. And
going on a month?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So it's been good. No, good so far. Yeah, we're both pretty busy,
which is good.
Yeah,
which is good. Yeah. You don't want to be up in each other's business too much.
Yeah,
just enough.
I could see how like everyone was saying during COVID, all these domestic couples were not divorcing, but breaking up. I totally get that. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, we have a lot of time at our jobs apart and stuff, and so we did.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's kind of cool having your own place and being able to customize it, move things around.
100%.
She's got some plants in this little backyard area.
She's not too pushy with the decorations.
No, well, she has. I like her whole vibe. She is really careful about picking the furniture and making it look right, but it has a sort of a 70s mid-century modern motif, and I like that. So
we like the 70s. Yes.
I even found you'll have to come over soon. I found at an old antique store that old sort of 70s auburn ashtray type thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like thick glass.
Yeah.
But it's like that orange.
I know exactly.
Yeah. I have one of those.
It's an actual ashtray. Do you use it as an ashtray?
Yeah, and it's from an old casino. Like from the so it's like it's great. I use that for my cigars.
That is so cool. Come over and have a stogie. Exactly, It's been a while since we've done a stogie cast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should do that.
Man. Well, congratulations.
So so it looks nice, and then I fuck it up with my action figures.
Of course.
There's like this whole nice 70s thing going on, and I just have like 50 Mandos. But
yeah, that's my problem. I've got a lot of action figures.
I'm thinking of getting like a nice, unassuming looking like toy box. Essentially. Okay.
I totally get that.
I should never have gotten rid of my old toy box.
I know. The goal eventually is to have the living quarters and then the full like unfazed studio room, which we have.
Yeah.
And then, but all in one home. And then have another room that's just like, okay, that's the toy collectible room. And I think for me, I'm going to need like 2 of those rooms.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to need a room that's fully dedicated to the vinyl. I've got everything just crammed together right now. But I'd love to have a room that's dedicated just to the vinyl and then a room that's dedicated just to the collectibles.
You know what my idea was, and she hates this idea, which I understand, but it's almost like a Kramer type idea, is that for all my ones that are still in the box, I wanted to make like a little corner that feels like a toy store, and I get like the wire things that come out and hang them up like you would see them in a toy store.
And also it'd probably be better for space.
Because
you'd have them like... That's a great...
If we had one more extra room, maybe at some point we upgrade and we have like a third, like a computer room. Yeah. I'd absolutely put that in there.
You have to do it. Emmett's Toy Corner.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be EL Toys.
Yeah. Get another sign.
Yeah. The signs, I'm addicted to the signs. Yeah.
Signs are good.
Yeah, I mean, nothing behind us. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Emmett, I think you're hallucinating. Emmett, you're having an episode.
But yeah, that was nice.
That's great. That's great.
And I have this, thanks. And she got me this little like grill, just like this, loose
George Foreman
side. Yeah, almost like a George Foreman. I don't think it's actually George Foreman, but it's something close to that same. It's close to that same idea. So I've been cooking a lot of meats for dinner and stuff.
I love the meats.
It's been really nice.
The cured meats.
And we're within the complex. We're in a really nice spot. We're like right next to the gym, the pool, and the laundromat. So it's like all right there. And there's tons of babies, tons of cats.
Oh.
There's like a shitload of cats, but they're not like scraggly.
You should have them.
Yeah, we should. We're trying. Honestly, we're trying. Like, if one comes up, and they're really friendly. If one comes up, we like open the door and we're like, "Come in, man."
There you go.
Trying to get them to come in.
There you go. Now we started with the humans. I'll be concerned.
Yeah.
What happened to that old man? There's a silver alert. He's living in Emmett's house.
Yeah, but that was nice. And honestly, the best part is my Mandalorian armor. If you remember, I don't even know if you remember this.
Where did you store it?
Exactly, I was about to say. So in episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
When Obi-Wan goes to Kamino, that like water rainy planet, to confront Jango Fett. Mm-hmm. Jango Fett's like out of his armor, of course. He's just like a regular dude. Mm-hmm. But he has like his high-tech closet open, and you see his armor like fitted in a certain way in the closet, and he like closes it really quick when Obi-Wan comes in, and I have it like exactly like he had it in the movie.
That's
and like in the same corner of the closet.
That's actually very cool. That's actually very cool.
You have to, right?
I'm coming over soon. Just for that.
Yes,
that's badass.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'll see what the vibe is over there. Maybe I'll be your neighbor soon.
Please do. Yeah, it's a nice.
I would like to be your Kramer.
I would love to. Yeah. There's a great. I still need to take you there. We might vlog it. There's a great toy store right next to us.
Oh, is that where the T1000 came from?
It is.
Thank you.
And even closer to us, like literally like apartment, and then like right next to it is this restaurant that is Bay. It's the one that's like it's not called Bay, but it's a sister Bay.
Interesting.
It's called like Zuiza Kaya or something shit. But
what's your language?
But it's it literally is Bay. Some of the stuff is like renamed, but it's all exactly.
But it's the same menu. Same quality.
It's right next door. So you could walk outside, go to Bay, and then go to the toy store and come back.
Man.
It's all you need. You know?
Sounds like the dream.
Yeah, it is a dream.
A bunch of cats running around.
Yeah, exactly. That's great.
Well, I think that's amazing. I'll be over soon. We'll smoke a stogie.
And just a side note, because it's like very bizarre. Mm-hmm. I work way the heck out towards the neck of the woods.
Yes.
Way out there. And
out in Japan.
Yeah. By luck of the draw, one of my coworkers lives in that same complex.
Oh, yeah. So you can carpool.
Yeah, and she's got like a really reliable, nice car. And so like if I'm in a bind, I'm just like, hey, she's like, and even within the complex, we're pretty close.
So is she single?
No. I think she moved out here for her boyfriend.
Not interested. Don't want to hear any more about her.
But logistically, it's really nice.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's nice. Carpooling, that is actually underrated.
Yeah, especially when it's so far.
Yeah, it's insane.
We should do it more than we do, but
we should.
Yeah.
We should also get rid of that single-use plastic.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's hop into the email, but I'm very happy for you, sir. That is very cool. So I was looking through this. No way in hell we're going to get through all these. We'll save some for next time. I counted between the last podcast, which was before Christmas, until now. Guess how many things I've sent to the email?
45 or something?
31.
31, wow.
31. So we'll just start with the most recent. We'll work our way backwards.
31.
We may or may not include the pictures. All right. So I'll read the first one. 50 gigabytes of unreleased Michael Jackson content, including unreleased songs and demos, has been stolen and leaked. Let's see. A hard drive belonging to MJ's engineer, Brad Sundberg, were stolen at a seminar this past Friday. Brad Sundberg said in a statement, "How long has it been? You're just walking around with all this shit on here? Whoops."
Yeah, well,
I think conveniently it was leaked.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we all love the music of MJ. Can't speak for him as a man, but as a musician and a performer, fantastic.
Right. Yeah.
And that seems a little planned.
Seems a little
One thing I do love, because Michael Jackson, obviously he was a weirdo. One thing I think about with MJ is he was like a fictional character.
It was.
He was like you think of Michael Jackson, like what other person can, like, all weird accusations aside, just him as a being, as a character, who else is like that?
Yeah.
Like he's like such a strange entity. I wish we would have gotten more of him.
Yeah, I wish we did too.
Yeah.
You know, he really wanted, speaking of MJ, he really wanted to be Spider-Man.
Yeah. We almost got, here's the crazy thing, I'm sure you know this, but I don't know if they know this. Michael Jackson petitioned hard to be Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Charlie Sheen almost was Spider-Man in the late 80s, early 90s. And in James Cameron's Spider-Man, Leonardo DiCaprio. We're talking like Leo, like 1999.
So Leo could have been Spidey and Anakin.
100%.
Holy shit.
100%.
What a weird alternate universe.
I know.
I almost don't mind it necessarily.
I love Leo.
Yeah, I think he could have done both.
I don't think I've ever seen a bad movie with him.
Yeah.
The only movie I didn't like with him was Great Gatsby, and that was not his fault.
It's not his fault, yeah.
It just it was too stylized for my taste.
Wow, a Spidey, Leo, and Anakin.
Spidey, Leo.
Yeah.
Let's see, next one. I'll let you read this one.
Research suggests men spend 7 hours a year hiding in bathroom. I believe it, for peace and quiet. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I 100% believe it.
Yeah, that one doesn't seem too strange to me.
I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's a very zen area. You take your shit, and then maybe you flush once, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then you just get on your phone, and you just hang out.
It's very zen and stuff.
It's very zen and stuff.
Very
There's a
zen
work
stuff.
class too, yeah.
What do you guys think of that one? Here's an idea I had recently, and Emmett, I think you'll approve, but I obviously want you to sign off on this.
Do everything in the bathroom.
Perfect. Everything, including consuming your podcast and your fiber. So obviously we love the classic unfazed shirt. That's not going anywhere. We got our original logo, courtesy of our boy Rake, wherever he is. I hope he's doing well. But we're thinking about making some new shirts. Got some new designs on the horizon. And I was thinking some of the funny shit we say on the podcast, like Zen and stuff that like the quotes we've incorporated in our scripts and in the podcast, would be funny brought to life like on shirts.
Yeah.
So if you guys have some favorite quotes, drop them below. If you don't care, we'll come up with some.
That'd be cool.
But I think that would be kind of fun.
That's a nice idea.
I do have a few ideas for some, but
we should do it.
I think I'll make a promise to you guys before. I'm going to say before June, before summer officially hits, I will have another shirt design for you in the Redbubble store.
Awesome.
And remember, if you guys don't have the classic design with the unfazed logo, we got the Redbubble store below.
Right below.
Rep your boys.
Right below.
And of course, we got the Patreon, but hey, no pressure. All
Go do it now.
Let's check the next one. Okay. Priest who temporarily died says he went to hell, and they played Umbrella by Rihanna as torture.
That sounds like a brain freaking out.
Yeah, I think so too. A Michigan priest who temporarily, of course he's a priest, who temporarily died, claims he went to hell and witnessed humans being tortured with Umbrella by Rihanna. And I called this Fire Under My Umbrella. Hey. The priest continued to explain that every word of the song was made to torture you for the fact you didn't worship God through music while you were on earth. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I think he has his own demons he needs to exercise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, all that. I don't know, not to burst anyone's bubble, but I'm pretty sure all that, visions when you're near death is just your brain flowing out. It's like dreams. Last night I had a dream I thought was real, and it was really scary. Mm-hmm. Speaking of our apartment, it was me and Emily's apartment. It was different, but it was supposed to be our apartment.
Of course, yeah.
And essentially, like, I couldn't get it secure. There was always, like, a window or something. We were in, like, a sketchy neighborhood, and there were people coming in.
Yep.
And I remember I got, like, the shotgun, but there was nothing in it, and so I had to start, like, beating the guy with it. It was, like, it was terrifying. I remember trying to, like, shout out to the person, like, tell them to leave, and my voice was, like, shaking and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, I thought it was absolutely real in the moment, and then, you know, I woke up when it was a dream.
But is it one of those where it's, like, hard to shake for a while?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it was like...
I totally get
that. And it's always real when you think you're in it, but for some reason, whenever people are close to death, it's like, ooh, now it's actually real. But, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff I do agree. I think is the brain chemicals, but there are some that I mean, it's just I think it's wishful thinking. Like I hope this.
Yeah, I hope too. Yeah.
Like
I hope for ghosts.
Yeah, I hope for ghosts. I hope for ghosts. I hope for ghosts. I hope for ghosts. You mark that one. I hope for ghosts. That's a shirt, baby. That's a shirt. Another one I thought of recently. I can't remember when we said it, but was feed the models. But I thought it'd be funny to have like mannequins with like chopsticks, and maybe like a cigar, and then it's like feed the mannequins.
When did you say that?
I don't know. It was one I had saved in my phone. Maybe I was just drunk. I don't know. Feed the mannequins. But hope for ghosts.
Hope for ghosts.
I hope for ghosts.
Sounds like a band or something.
Yeah, hope for ghosts. I like that. That's my favorite.
Thanks, man. Earlier today, I thought it was a genius. It made me sound like cool. But I thought it'd be super sick if there was like a high school garage band called Paper Airplane.
That is great.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there's gotta be. Yeah.
Paper Airplane. Wow.
But it has to be like a high school group, you know?
It has to be. Yeah. Ted, can we use your mom's basement? Yeah. That's sick. Yeah. So hope for ghosts. Love it. But I do agree with that. Like I really do hope, because like a part of me, like I don't mean to be a downer and super agnostic, but like a part of me has this fear that just when it's over, and you're just in darkness, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the fear. So that's what makes death so scary, because we don't know.
Yeah.
But obviously, I hope for ghosts. I hope that there's something more. I hope that our consciousness transcends this earthly realm, and that there's more to experience. Like, of course, we all want that, right? So whether that be heaven, whether that be reincarnation, whatever, I really, really, fingers crossed, want the story. Hope that the story continues. Yeah. But I do think a lot of the stuff that people see is the brain chemicals and freaking out. But I have heard some stories of like people who have been under for quite a while and come back, where they're having the out-of-body experience and they hear conversations from other rooms and stuff like that, where I'm like, okay, that's a little more exciting, because hey, maybe there is something beyond that. It's outside of the room.
People who you feel like they have the voice of authority to denounce this stuff often believe in it. Like Emily's dad is a nurse, and he's been a nurse for many, many years. He like absolutely believes in the afterlife. Yeah. And he said they would do shit like, I guess there was a really tall awning in some of the rooms where they would do surgery and stuff, and sometimes they would hide shit up there, like teddy bears and stuff, and like stuff that you couldn't see it unless you were like on a ladder. And he said sometimes when they were working on people and they went out, they would be like, "Hey, why is there a teddy bear up there?"
Interesting.
Weird shit.
So that gives me hope.
Yeah, stuff like that gives me hope. That's crazy.
Because it would sure suck to go into the darkness, right?
Yeah.
But the only thing that gives me a bit of hope, and I know people say, like, my mom gets mad at me. She's like, "Oh, you just need to have faith." I'm like, well, it's hard. It's hard when you think logically about stuff. It's hard to just believe a book from thousands of years ago, right? It's hard to believe that man-made story, right? I don't mean to shit on anyone's religion or anything, but it's just, if you come in with a critical mind, it's hard to believe that, at least for me. But when you hear about stuff like that gives me a lot of hope, because it's like, how the fuck would they know about a teddy bear on the roof?
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
And then you hear about other things too. I've heard from a lot of, I've heard different stories about like hospice nurses. A girl I actually used to work in a hospice type facility, and she said a super common thing that they would see would be people, a week or so before they die, or a few days before they die, seeing old relatives, seeing old pets that they had, having conversations with walls. And she said, you could write that off as being crazy, but she said, like, it was like a trend for years. Like, people would say they saw their parents, their brothers and sisters, people who'd been dead for years. And that's interesting to me too. That kind of gives me some hope as well.
Yeah, you never know. Hopefully in 100 years we'll be here as Jedi Force ghosts.
That would be
doing
sick.
The podcast.
That would be sick. Yeah, the
so
longer the better, baby.
How about that new Disney movie?
Knock on wood, God willing. I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, so here's one that we already kind of touched on. Metro Center Mall redevelopment to begin immediately in Phoenix. I was already there today. It's sad, dude. It's sad. Yeah. It's going away, and I'm really just grateful we got the vlogs that we did. because those are going to be like historical videos, you know.
Is that light rail bridge thing still like right up against it?
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's so fucking weird. Just like waiting. It's so weird.
I still remember that dumb bitch that we talked to at the Dillard's that was like, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
What did you hear? Where are we going?
Business is thriving.
Yeah, I was like, that was
bums pissing all
that
over.
wasn't even a year ago when we recorded that. That was like maybe a year.
Are they still there?
It was there, but I went today just to check it out, and it had store closing signs.
There you go.
And it said, thanks for the memories, Metro Center, all those.
So much for that Russian weirdo.
Yeah, so and I didn't even see her there, so she probably went
got another job.
Went to another dead mall.
Yeah.
This is all you, buddy.
Nerf Limited. Oh,
I think we found a new toy for Emmett.
Oh my, absolutely. We both have to get these and shoot each other.
I know. I would love to.
Holy shit! It's just the gun from
It's a Nerf gun.
Yeah. Holy shit!
Isn't that sick?
They need to do more stuff like this.
I agree. Some Terminator stuff would
It's
be
so
sick.
cool.
All right, what do we have next here? Let's see. Ooh, the old switcheroo. Man legally changes gender to help win custody battle, infuriating trans rights groups. That's it. There's no context.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I believe it was in Mexico. But yeah, good for him.
Well, yeah, you can
Or
do
her.
that now.
Or them.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Them Zerg there.
Them Zergas.
This is a cool one.
Drunk thief is stabbed by angel statue's sword after trying to steal it from Mexican church. Holy shit.
This is the Mexican side of the news.
Apparently. A drunk man injured himself whilst attempting to steal a statue of St. Michael the Archangel. Michael will fuck you up, man. He's the general.
He's intense.
Carrying a sword from a church in Mexico. The 32-year-old Michael Alonso, the same name, visited his local church in Monterrey in the early hours of the morning.
Ironic, isn't it?
Yeah. According to a report translated by the Catholic news agency, Alonso broke into the church at night before tripping and cutting his neck with the sword, causing serious injury.
Shit.
Damn, dude. Don't fuck with St. Michael.
That's hardcore. There's a stray cat that lives outside our house that I'll put food out for him and stuff, and I call him Archangel.
Oh.
Just because.
No one messes with him.
His name is Archangel Michael. Okay. So here's my little comment on here. Everything with male-focused advertising for cologne, soap, laundry, grooming has to be worded this way, and it annoys the shit out of me, and I'm sure you guys see it all the time. So it's annoying, dumbed down, smell like a Viking, grab your wood like a badass boss type lingo. So it's like, I think it started with the Red Spice commercials where everything has to be like gritty and like jokey.
It's like, yeah,
so
gritty,
it's like,
jokey, exactly.
It's an all male focused toiletry advertising. It started with Old Spice, I think. Now it's evident with razors, Manscaped especially. Grab your balls, and and smell like a lumberjack.
Yeah.
It's all shit like that. And like here's one I noticed. It's from Laundry Sauce. Is the Instagram, and it says you'll smell like a lumberjack who's also a firefighter who also saves the day, and it's just like, what does it say? Who's also a firefighter who also always puts the toilet seat down. Join the Laundry Society now and start smelling sawsome.
Oh,
and just like
God.
Here's the thing.
It's the least manly stuff.
Here's the thing. And I think it started with Old Spice. I think it got to the point where they said, okay, this is the advertising. Now we can't just say, hey, smell good, get the chicks, right?
Yeah.
It's like instead it's got to be like this attempt at humor, and you've got to throw in some weird out of context thing about a lumberjack or a Viking or something that encapsulates like hyper masculinity from the classic era.
God.
And they got to try to make it funny, and like all the professionalism is gone.
Absolutely.
It's all gone.
You're right.
But it's kind of like it's another thing that they've dumbed down. They've dumbed it down.
Yeah. And there was a trend for a long time, it still is, where men are like the butt of the joke in every commercial, and like the dumb guy that fucks shit up.
The dumb dad.
So they had to like keep that going, but also make it cool. So like, we're dumb, but we can beat stuff up. You know, it's so stupid. God, it's stupid.
Yeah, there's something about it that's very. I hate to say this, but it's like it's offensive.
It is offensive.
And it seems like they're like, "Hey, you're a fucking idiot."
Yeah.
Buy our soap.
Yeah.
That's the new ad.
That is the new ad.
Fucking idiot soap. Anyway, I just don't like it.
Daisy Ridley and Alden Ehrenreich are both open to returning to Star Wars in the future. Please don't.
And I just put, who cares?
Yeah. Who? Well, the sad thing is, Daisy Ridley, I feel a little bad for her because she took all this heat, and she's just an actress.
She's
at the end of the
fine.
day.
She's
and
fine.
she's really tried to defend it. She's the only one who did try to defend it. I think because she's front and center. The black guy, and then the guy from Ex Machina, always hated it.
They denounce it.
Yeah, they always fucking hated it. But I really do feel bad. But and then Alden is a really good actor.
He's good.
If you guys have ever seen Hail Caesar by the Coen Brothers, check it out. He's so good in it.
And I tried watching Solo, and it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. But it wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, yeah. But in Hail Caesar, he plays one of those sort of 40s, 50s era cheap cowboy TV show actors.
Okay.
And he's just so fucking good.
I gotta watch that one. I love the Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
I love the Coen Brothers.
He's fantastic, and obviously, I'm sure he was fine in Solo. I caught glimpses of Solo on a plane. Someone informed me was watching it, and I was kind of like watching.
While you were on the Falcon?
Yeah, I was on the Falcon.
Yeah.
It was fine, right? Yeah, but I don't know.
It's just hashtag not my Star Wars.
Yeah, you should also. I don't think we're supposed to know where Han Solo comes from. I'd rather not know.
That's very true.
And they did it with Kyle Katarn, because Kyle Katarn is kind of like Han Solo, but then he becomes a Jedi, and his origin story is also that he was from the Empire. He was a stormtrooper, and he went rogue or whatever. So, and that's cool to kind of flesh that out with another guy. There's always I love all the different versions of Han. We got Dash Rendar, we got Kyle Katarn. They're all so fucking cool.
The archetype.
Yeah, leave Solo alone. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I want a Dash Rendar movie. Give him time. I know they'll fuck it up, but because it is Star Wars. It's like when Lucas sold the rights to that to Lucasfilm and everything. Does that cover all the expanded universe books?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay.
I know, and that's why they threw it all out in the beginning because they didn't like it. But now they're kind of they're bringing things in selectively, so they'll take just a character or just a whatever.
Interesting.
But even then, it's kind of fucked
up. I don't know how I feel about
I don't
that,
like it. Yeah, because the stories need the characters need the stories.
Yeah. I like that poll that we did. Let me know if you guys want me to keep doing these. Actually, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing them anyway. But I like doing the polls on the community tab on our YouTube channel.
That was cool. The movie?
The movie. And everyone overwhelmingly wanted a Shadows of the Empire film from 1996. I'm trying to remember what I put. I put Shadows of the Empire. I put... what were the other movies I put? I can't remember. Fuck. Let me look. Let's see.
There was another one with I think it was another poll with Spider-Man and some other movies in there.
Yeah. That was the one.
Yeah.
Here, let me see. I'll find it.
Yeah, Shadows of the Empire movie from the mid '80s with fucking unreal.
Let me know if you guys have any ideas for other polls that you'd like. Okay, so here's the last one I did. You can only have one become a reality. A, season 10 of Seinfeld, 1998 to 1999. Second option, Star Wars Shadows of the Empire movie, 1996. Third option, a Beatles reunion album, 1978. Back to the Future Part 4, 1995. Or Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi, 2010. All these are incredibly close to me and incredibly tough. Yeah. So if I had to put them in order, I'm gonna go season 10 of Seinfeld. I think I would want the most. Spider-Man 4 with Raimi and Tobey. Back to the Future Part 4 with Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire movie, and then a Beatles reunion album. I hate to put Beatles reunion album last, but all of those, it's almost like what could have been is almost more exciting. You know?
Yeah, I think what I was going to say with the Beatles and Seinfeld is they did the perfect showmanship thing. They left everyone wanting more. I think that's part of what makes them so great. So I'd be almost scared to see it happen.
Exactly. Would Star Wars would be your first choice though?
Yeah, Star Wars would be my first choice, and then
put them in order. I want to hear yours in order.
Honestly, so Star Wars, would have been my first choice.
And as far as the poll goes, let me give you the results. Star Wars movie was number 1. Second option was Spidey 4. Third option was Seinfeld, barely, and then tied would be Beatles and Back to the Future 4. We don't have that many fans of those guys.
Yeah. So honestly, I think Shadows of the Empire would be first. Yeah, I think second would be Back to the Future Part 4.
It would be
because all three of those were fantastic.
They're so
I think
good.
they would have just kept being good if they kept making them.
They're so good.
And the only reason I hesitate to do Spider-Man 4 is because I'd almost rather see 3 in a different way.
Exactly.
3 could have been so cool, but they fucked it up. Well, Sony fucked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I almost wouldn't care because it's already kind of went off a deep end.
Yeah, it could have just gotten worse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And also don't get me wrong, Iron Man movies were great and stuff in that era. They were doing some cool stuff, but if it would have, let's say it would have been worse than Spider-Man 3, that could have been bad. I would hate to see Tobey in a really shitty Spider-Man Beyond 3.
Yeah.
So and then Beatles reunion album, same thing. Like you said, it's we got all the solo albums from the guys, and you could pick two good songs off every one of those solo albums that are Beatles quality. Yeah. They never quite got there, but it kind of makes the Beatles that much more special because all the solo stuff they did was never as good as the Beatles.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Yeah. Although I don't know. No, thinking about the Spider-Man 4 capabilities, if they had kept going with Spidey, we could have seen like an alternate Avengers with Tobey, Edward Norton, Hulk, and then Iron Man. Just even just those three would have been fucking.
That would have been sick, yeah.
So cool.
And Captain America was coming close to that. Time.
Yeah. And then would be Wolverine in there. You know,
Wolverine.
And that would have been the perfect time, like 2008, when all that stuff. Those guys were just young enough.
Yeah.
To fit that. God,
I think you still could have pulled it off around 2010, 2012.
Yeah.
But now it's a little too late. But you know, we did get No Way Home, which was not the best, but it was still cool to see him try.
Yeah.
It was the best we got of the new era.
I'm a little tired of seeing the really old guys. They're trying to bring all these people back with the actors, and they say they have all these effects, but everyone still just looks fucking old. I don't know. You know,
it's tough.
Sad,
and it's like. The only one who can kind of pull it off, I think, would be Hugh Jackman, because Wolverine, we see him be Old Man Logan. So, like, I don't think he'd be startling at all.
Yeah.
You can see him kind of progressively.
Yeah. But I remember even in, like, I give Better Call Saul a pass, obviously, just because it's, like, the writing is so incredible and such a great show. But even, like, that was really starting to bug me towards the end, because he looked, like, decrepit at the end. There's that famous shot when he first sits down in his office, and he, like, smiles.
Yeah.
There's something about the lighting in that shot, you see, like, every wrinkle.
Yeah.
And it's like, in that shot, he's supposed to be like, I'm beginning my journey as Better Call Saul, but he's, like, fucking ancient.
I still think the balls on those guys, like Vince Gilligan and those guys, for signing on to do that, like, literally, your lead, Bob Odenkirk, God bless him, amazing dude, like, has a heart attack in the final season, and thank God he lived.
Yeah.
But, like, also, like, Jonathan Banks, like, that guy's not getting any younger. But, like, you're like, we're signing up for 5 seasons of this with these dudes. The balls, and they made it. They did it. They succeeded.
It's Jonathan Banks' birthday today.
Happy birthday, Jonathan Banks. I'm a big fan.
He's 90 probably.
He's a fan favorite. Yeah. I say Jonathan Banks probably. I'm gonna guess like 72.
You know what's weird is he's like the most like soft and liberal out of that whole group. Isn't that bizarre? There's that funny little interview with him where he's like crying about how much he loves Mike. I love Mike so much. and then
76.
76. And he's like, oh, I love Mike so much. He's like bawling about it. And then Walter, who's the actor?
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston says, like, while he's crying, it's hilarious. Bryan Cranston's like, I like the scene where I shot Mike. So funny.
That's the best.
Based Bryan Cranston.
That's such a Bryan Cranston thing. I saw the Bryan Cranston recently was on Bill Maher's podcast.
Oh!
Looking forward to that one. That's going to be a listen for tomorrow. All right, guys, one more quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back with the last of these emails and the last of us zombies.
No, thank you.
See you.
What happened?
We gotta talk. Not right now. I'm in the middle of shooting a Super Bowl commercial.
Won't take long, Jeff. You're canceled.
Canceled?
Yeah, sorry. How do you get canceled out of a commercial?
You're not getting the ratings, Chevy.
Ratings?
Demographics, all wrong. There's 4 or 5 other commercials the audience likes a lot better.
They do?
Oh, yeah. You're out, Jeff.
I like this stuff.
Well, keep the bag, Jeff.
Oh, well, thanks.
You're a sport and a terrific guy. You're good. You look great.
Tough year. Good chip.
Doritos Tortilla Thins. Everything else is just a chip.
Ooh. All right, so going back to the polls, North Pole, South Pole, stripper pole. Here's the other poll I did. You can hear one of these unmade albums. Which do you choose? So I came up with these titles, and I'm proud of them because they sound cool. Delusions of Grandeur, 1988 by The Police.
Oh, that sounds real.
That was the second to last popular option. Lately I've been on a huge Police kick, and I was actually thinking about, at the very least, doing an Unfazed review Instagram post on this.
What happened to your Rush kick?
Well, I kind of... But I've really been hooked on the Police lately.
Yeah.
They're so fucking good. They beat the shit out of Rush. Yeah. Sorry guys, but the Police are fantastic. Yeah. And recently, I've always been like, I've always really liked them, and I'm like, but I've never listened to their full discography. There's been a couple albums I've listened to, but mostly it's just the hits here and there. So one day at work, I literally listened to all of their studio albums. They did 5 albums from 1977 to 1983. And then they stopped in 1983, and they never did an album together again. Wow. And all the guys are alive to this day. And I'm like, that's such a fucking tragedy, dude, that they stopped with 5 albums. But those albums are so fucking good. Yeah. And I want to do a review of them, an unfazed review on the Instagram. And I might even make a video on it. Because, like, I really thoroughly enjoyed them.
Might even do a listen party.
Yeah, might even do a listen party. Highly recommend for me. But and then I listened to Sting's first 2 solo albums. His first one was a little underwhelming. It was a lot different than the Police sound, which I think is what he was going for. But it was still good, like from a musical perspective. Like I appreciated it, but it was nothing like Synchronicity or the albums by the Police.
Different producer and different musicians around you changed everything.
Yeah, it was but I still really appreciate Sting. My favorite album that I listened to was the second album they did, the follow-up, The Englishman in New York. That album's fucking insane. Like, that album is so good. And he really starts implementing more jazz sounds into it. And it's really, really good. Like, I think you would like that one. Cool. The first one, what was kind of a bummer about it was, like, there was a little bit of jazz in there, and then also, like, obviously some reggae vibes in there. But they said that there was a lot more synth and guitar-driven stuff in there that they did originally, but then at the last minute, Sting re-recorded it. And those recordings have never been released. And I'm like, I bet they were a lot like the Police, but he wanted to pull away from that. So I would have loved to have heard that. But his second album, though, fucking brilliant. And I saw he's going to be doing a Vegas residency in April, so... might consider seeing Sting. But dude, I'll send you some stuff from that second album. It was brilliant.
That's awesome.
And then I listened to 2 of their live albums, and one of them, it was a different day, obviously. I didn't listen to them all in one day. But I did listen to the 5 studio albums and Sting's first solo album all in one day, though.
Wow.
I was very proud of myself.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah,
in one 10-hour sitting.
Shit, dude. Yeah.
So, I did that. And I can say they were brilliant. But their 2008 live album that they did in where it was, like, Brazil or somewhere like that, dude, one of the best live albums I've heard. Like, it was so freaking good. So might get a Police review coming soon. Back to this. Delusions of Grandeur, 1988 by the Police. Ecstatic Omissions, 1995 by Nirvana.
Oh, nice.
And these are all, unmade albums you'd like to hear. That Would Be Something, 1971 by the Beatles.
Cool.
Transmissions, 1972 by the Doors.
Love it.
And A Light from Above, 1998 by Jeff Buckley.
Oh, man.
So, as far as the audience goes...
Makes me sad.
As far as the audience goes, it was close between Beatles and Nirvana, but Nirvana wins with Ecstatic Omissions, 1995.
Oh, yeah.
And that probably would be top of my list as well. I mean, all these are right up there because I came up with the list, right? But we were so close to getting it. That's a frustrating thing. Like, we got You Know You're Right, which was the demo that they did. And then, 3 days later, Kurt went to rehab and the rest. But I would have loved a Nirvana album. Yeah. And I think, honestly, the way the band was trending, that probably would have been their last album. And we still would have gotten Foo Fighters and Kurt would have gone solo.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on this one? They're all so good, right?
Yeah.
They're all so good.
Yeah, I would...
Buckley was a close one, too. I can't believe no one voted for Buckley.
Yeah, people don't know Buckley as much, these guys. Yeah, Nirvana... I put Nirvana and Jeff Buckley on par. And Jeff, because, my favorite song of his, he never even officially recorded. It was just like this leaked. Yeah. And that's one of those beautiful, like, pop, people wouldn't consider it pop anymore, but that's one of the most beautiful, like, rock, pop songs I've ever heard in my life.
For sure.
Whatever you want to call it. I think I gotta put Nirvana and Jeff on the same bar there, and then right below it would be Beatles.
Yeah.
And
That Would Be Something is the name of a McCartney song, by the way, that he did right around that era.
And then I'd say Doors, just because I think it would be interesting to hear more Doors. I don't know.
It would have been cool to hear more Doors. I would have loved to have heard the Doors and T-Rex, Mark Bolan and T-Rex from the 70s, go into the 1980s. I would have loved to have heard that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jim Morrison in the 80s, same with Hendrix.
But Police would have been cool too. This is top.
I know.
That's the point. Good job.
That's the point of these lists. Anyway, so if you guys want me to do more of these, I'm planning to do them, but if you have suggestions for ones that could be thrown into the mix, I might just have to do that.
Who's your favorite unfazed reviewer?
Oh,
Benjamin or Ben?
I think it's Snowy.
Oh, Snowy. There's 3 options: Benjamin, Ben, and Snowy.
It's Snowy. Alright, I think we got time for a couple more of these bad boys. Let's see what else we got here in the old pumpernickel. Alright, this one's for Evan.
Oh, I can't believe it. More of these UFO sighting reports by U.S. troops skyrocket to over 500 A new declassified report from the U.S. government has revealed that U.S. troops reported 366 UFO sightings in the span of March 2021 to August 2022.
Wow.
In the 17 years prior to March 2021, only 144 sightings were reported, bringing the grand total to 510. Researchers believe this surge is partly due to increased attention on the matter by the community.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, my thing is, it says reports by U.S. troops, so it's like it's not just like random people on the ground. Like I saw a UFO. It's like these are like people that are like their jobs are on the line if they speak up.
Yeah.
And my thing is not necessarily saying like, oh, those are aliens, but like they're foreign aircrafts that we need to be careful of.
Yeah. These people have like, radar and stuff, so they can identify exactly how it's flying.
I hope it's aliens. Though.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
In-N-Out Burger has set its sights on the southeast. Let's see here. You gotta open a link. Give me 5 seconds here. In-N-Out Burger is expanding its first stop in Tennessee. You'll have to hold off on that craving for a double-double until 2026.
Holy shit.
What the fuck are they even telling us then?
He was sitting in their room waiting.
But yeah, if you guys have never had In-N-Out Burger and you're in that region, it's bomb. It's really, really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think sometimes people put a little too high on the list, like it gets a little overrated, but it is one of my favorites. Like, it's delicious.
Yeah.
It's its own thing.
Also, I think the vibe is part of the fun, and that's why it stayed in the Southwest for so long, because it is very, like, California.
Yeah, and also,
palm trees
their logic on that, so I heard, was that they never wanted it to be more than, I think it was 500 miles away from where the meat and cheese comes from. Like, they want it to be, like, so it's never not fresh.
Yeah, that's nice, I like that.
So we'll see how it goes, but Tennessee is known for good food, so congrats. I do really enjoy In-N-Out Burger, though, and I love getting the fries animal style.
Yes,
that's like the best.
Yeah.
It sounds so good right now, actually. So yeah, 2026, I really don't know what to say about that, but congrats. You'll see the second Batman movie in 2025 before you get to eat an In-N-Out Burger in Tennessee.
Right.
So stay tuned on that.
Yeah. Highly anticipated.
Yeah, it is highly anticipated. It's low.
All these websites are just
there we go.
Crap.
There you go.
80s VHS sold for $80,600 after YouTuber says they destroyed 100 copies. Yeah, okay. YouTube channel Red Letter Media posted a video attempting to drive up the value of a rare VHS tape. After
fucking idiots.
Kind of like an asshole thing to do, yeah. After years of collecting copies of obscure 80s movies, Nuki said they destroyed all but one. Their final tape of the movie sold for $80,000.
I wonder if they just got old blank VHSs and then put duplicated cases and didn't really destroy them, but they did a publicity stunt to drive up value, because that's an asshole move to really destroy them.
Yeah, everyone loves Red Letter Media, but I've never particularly liked them.
Not familiar with them. If it's not the Fave Bros, I don't watch.
Thank you, baby. Inspired by a sealed copy of the movie Back to the Future, which sold at auction for $75,000 in June 2022.
Damn.
The Hill reported. The duo set out to test what factors made a VHS. Yeah, of course, if you destroy all the other ones.
Moron.
I wonder what will make it worth more.
Yeah, that's I'm sure it's just a publicity stunt, but it's kind of if it's real, it's shitty. Yeah. Now, one thing I've noticed is it's not a super secret thing. It's fucking obvious, but they are really going up in value. So hang on to your VHSs, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was talking to my mom about that. She's like, we should get rid of some of those old VHSs, and I'm like, no,
no,
absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. Hang on to all your VHSs. Keep all your stuff. No.
You know what? Honestly, what would be the smart thing to do is to digitize your copies of them and then sell them later. Yeah,
100%. Cool. Okay, so the world's first brain implant to treat depression to start second human trial. And I said, that's how they get you, the medical approach.
Yeah.
So this could be really good in terms of the idea they're trying to get across. It's a noble idea, but at the end of the day, they put a chip in your brain. So I don't know if I like that.
I don't like that. That very idea is so depressing.
It is
kind of free,
and that's how they get you with any kind of injection, with any kind of implant, anything like that. They're like, well, it'll make you better. So, but I think there's probably a sinister motive to it.
And if you go on Twitter or whatever, everyone says, well, it's chemical, and some people really just can't help it. But every therapist I've talked to is all these pills and things are. They have a shelf life, and they're not going to get to the source of the issue.
Yeah.
If you really want to, fix your depression, you need to get at the seed of it, at the root of it,
100%.
via therapy or whatever. So I don't. Obviously, for some people, I guess chemical imbalance may be a factor, but I think stuff like this is a bad idea.
I agree. Yeah, it says scientists. I agree totally.
Yeah.
Scientists at Intercosmos attempted to treat a patient's depression by implanting electrodes into their skull. Their implant sought to ease the patient's depression through short electric impulses. This sounds like shock therapy on a mini scale. The hardware is about the size of a penny. Oh, that makes it okay. And actively balances the brain stimulation for about 15 minutes a day. The company is working on finding ways to make the surgery process less invasive to avoid barrier to entry. I don't know, maybe put it in a fucking hat? A second round of human trials is currently in planning as Intercosmos moves closer to bringing their implant to the market. Lawsuits soon to follow. Yeah.
I had a friend in high school who had some really bad anger issues at one point and started like drinking a lot and stuff, and his parents put him on, I forget what it was, some pill that fucked with his chemistry there.
Yeah.
And
Pez.
It was like eerie.
Really?
It was just like, he was like, I wouldn't even say he was happy, he was just like pleasant and like safe. He was just like, it was a totally different person. He was like, hey, I'm good. And he would like do his homework and stuff, which I guess what they were trying to do, but he wasn't him. And I remember just like a month or so.
Ritalin kids.
Yeah, it was not even a month, it was like a couple of weeks, and his parents took him off it because they were just like so shocked and they like wasn't him anymore. It was like so scary, yeah.
I have a similar story to that. I remember I was a lot younger. There was a kid who lived in my neighborhood, and he was like not really a friend, but like his mom would like bring him over, and like we lived so close, like his mom would like try to force play dates, you know, and like he'd have to like, he was like a little younger, he was the Ronald, you know?
Yeah.
And he had like, our birthdays were like a day apart, so like he'd come over and like, this birthday, he'd like join my birthday, and I'm like, I don't want him here.
You were Kyle Rossetti?
I was Kyle Rossetti. But he, you know, he was whatever. He was okay. Yeah. But I remember he was one of those kids that got on medication like around pretty early on. Like I want to say like when he was like 8 or 9.
Because they really wanted to be your friend.
I guess. Yeah. And I said, here, take these. If you're one of us, you'll take the pills. But I remember he got on these pills. You know, his parents put him on these pills, and dude, the kid got. I feel bad for him. I'm hoping later on he got off of them. I don't know if he did or not. But he like same type of thing. He was like sedated. And it was like, I remember he used to be like real crazy and run around and stuff, and then he was like, hi, how are you doing? Like almost like he was like high. And I remember seeing him in high school. We didn't talk, but I remember seeing him, and he was just like real quiet. So I was like, I don't know. Beyond that, I don't know if he ever got off the medal. I hope for his sake that he did. But I remember that kid just going from like zany to like fucking, you know, just sedated. You know. Here, you go ahead, Rachel.
Florida couple is going to be good.
Yeah.
Florida couple burglarizing home called 911 for help moving their belongings from the house, the one they were burglarizing. Holy shit. A Florida man and his girlfriend landed themselves in jail after allegedly dialing 911 for helping commit a crime in progress. Martin and Ashia Liz, I don't know what the fuck that is, placed the emergency call to ask deputies for assistance moving items out of a home they were in the process of burglarizing and giving them a ride to the airport. What were these people thinking? A ride to the airport?
They must have been high out of their mind.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, according to a remarkable press release from the Polk County Sheriff's Office, the call in question, authorities say, was placed by the girlfriend. She said she called 911 for the purpose of having law enforcement assist her and Martin with moving their belongings from the house, and they were trying to get a ride to the airport because they wanted to go to New York for the weekend. Oh my god.
Idiots.
Jesus. Deputies did help them with their belongings and did give them a ride, but it wasn't to the airport. Wow. Oh my god. What did they think was going to happen?
Total morons.
Shit.
Yeah. Anyway, that just goes to show, fucking idiots.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like, they think they were calling an Uber, and even then Uber's not going to help you move a couch.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Alright, let's do one more. Sorry, it's loading.
All is well.
Forgive me, everyone.
No.
Forgive me. Let's find another one in here. Oh. Okay, we'll do one more. Death of the Narrator. Apple unveils suite of AI-voiced audiobooks. And, of course, they have, like, 3. It's, Gwyneth Paltrow, Snoop Dogg, and, like, Dr. Phil or something like that. And they read, you know, in any book you want, audiobook. It's like, you can hear Snoop Dogg read or Gwyneth Paltrow. And I'm sure, you know, eventually they'll get more of these celebrities to sign on and do it. But I wouldn't be excited about that unless it was, like, Norm Macdonald. Or, like, you know, I do think there is a site that does, I don't know if it's for Norm. Maybe it is for Norm. Where it's, like, AI-generated jokes. But I'd love to see more of that. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Snoop Dogg reading my
Yeah, fuck that.
You know,
I don't get why everyone thinks he's so cool. Like it's fine, but like everyone thinks he's the shit. He's fucking weird.
Yeah, he's one of those that got sucked into the public ether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't. Why'd they pick those three? That's so weird. I don't like that. Well, speaking of audiobooks and Star Wars, we need to do our Star Wars.
I would love to.
I wrote a Star Wars short story years ago that I think is really good.
Yes.
And all the Disney stuff is kind of not copied my idea, obviously.
Did you invent characters?
I did a few characters, and there's a few characters that are still in there. But mine starts with Order 66 from the perspective of the kids.
It was very good.
Thank you. Yeah, and then I have a lot of
I have the hard copies.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, well, we really want to do it.
Yes.
But then there was one of the animated Star Wars shows that came out recently called The Bad Batch that also like opens with Order 66 and then dives into like the trauma of it and shit or whatever. But like I did that before.
Eminem
was better, I think. And I think it would really be a blast for you and I to voice it.
I would love to do that, yeah. And then we also want to do a Star Wars short film.
Yes.
Sometime, I would say realistically, based on, our lives and budget and everything, I'd say within the next year and a half.
I would love to do that.
We'd like to do that, and honestly, shoot in New Mexico. Get the filming incentives out there. And,
that'd be cool.
Honestly, you got kind of a different landscape, because it's like, we've seen so much stuff here, but like, you've got like that cool, like, White Sands area.
Yeah.
And that other, like, was it a petrified forest I showed you that has like really cool, like, alien-looking background?
Yeah.
So we could definitely do some cool stuff.
That was an idea for a Fallout short film.
That would be
both
fun.
those would be good. And there is like a Fallout live-action series coming out on Netflix or something soon.
Really?
So that might be topical.
Speaking of Netflix and speaking of Nuevo Mexico, they opened up a Netflix office and I guess studio out in out in Albuquerque, and I was talking to a Uber driver out there, and then someone else I was talking to also mentioned it, and I'm like, oh shit,
let's go egg it.
So let's go egg it. Yes, but who knows? Might be some
bring back Spidey.
Some production opportunities. Yeah.
The one thing that is nice about Netflix is that they are like, I think, bringing in new actors a lot.
For sure.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
That's all shit, and most of them are bad, and the things they're doing are bad.
Once in a blue moon, one will slip through the cracks. Like, I think we talked about that before, where it's kind of like, you know how like Hallmark movies have a feel? Like Netflix movies have a feel.
They do have a feel, yeah.
And it's not necessarily good.
Tuesday has a feel.
Tuesday has a feel. And then Newman's like against it. It doesn't have a feel. But I have seen a few good Netflix things. Like there are a few Netflix originals that are good, but it's like a diamond in the rough. It's like,
absolutely.
For every good Netflix project, there's like 20 shit ones.
Yeah.
But not to say I wouldn't work with Netflix. If the opportunity came up, I would consider working with Netflix. Because
another quote when we were talking about for every 20 Netflix movies there's one good one or whatever. Another good T-shirt quote would be, once you said like for every 50 shitheads there's 5 wonderful people or something like that. That would be a good quote. That would be a good one.
That would be a good one. And I think that's a true estimate.
Yeah, that was a good estimate.
Yeah.
I forget the exact numbers, but it was something.
For every 50 shitheads, there's like 5 wonderful people. Something along those lines. Yeah. And I hope for Ghosts.
Yeah.
Dude, I think I Hope for Ghost gets my vote for the first shirt.
All right.
And then I think Feed the Models would be a good.
I Hope for Ghost would be a good one to boost the Unfaced Frights channel.
I agree. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of Unfaced Frights, because we have over 1,227 subscribers as of this morning. Thank you, new subscribers. We have 89 subscribers on Unfaced Frights. So something's not adding up here.
We could get an Unfaced Frights like slasher type logo font,
That would be sick.
Cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, so if you guys have not subscribed to Unfaced Frights, go check it out. The link is below, and I'll link an Unfaced Frights video at the end of this.
You could say, I Hope for Ghosts, and then Unfaced Frights in that font, and then it'll be you and me with the flashlight.
That would be sick. That would be sick.
Cool.
Oh, and speaking of which, for the 89 of you who do give a shit about Unfaced Frights, I have a new Unfaced Frights video coming out next week. I think you guys will enjoy, and it is the Park Central Hotel in Albuquerque, New Mexico, that previously was a hospital and an insane asylum, and then converted into a fancy hotel. And pretty cool stuff.
Talk about frightening.
So looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else you'd like to add, sir?
I think that's it for now. It's so good to be back.
Oh, and by
a little hiatus.
Oh, and by the way, we got a sign.
Yeah, we got a sign.
But don't worry about that.
God, it's a cool sign.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and most importantly, remain unfazed. Thanks for watching.
I was trying to turn it up.
Oh yeah, let's play with this.
Oh, this is. Whoa!
Look at that! Hey, isn't that sick? That's cool. That's real. That's real neon, guys. Worth its weight in gold.
See you next time.
All right, bye-bye.
Second.